Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Hunted Killers Class of 98. I am obviously feeling a whole lot better than our last video. Turns out, last video I had COVID. So that whole time of me trying to figure out in the video, beyond the mystery of what we were trying to solve, the mystery of trying to figure out why I had a scratchy throat, was because I had COVID. So definitely feeling a whole lot better this time. So as always, I am joined by my amazing and ever so lovely wife, Mrs. Strange, aka Red Panda. So feel free, in the comments down below the video, chat it up, tell her how much you love her and how much better than me she is. I know, I get it, I understand. So we can absolutely do that. And then also don't forget to like and subscribe. All right. So this episode, I'm trying to remember where we were at. We eliminated what, 2 suspects already?
It's been a while, yes.
Okay.
I'm so excited to get back to this.
So who were the 2 that we've eliminated?
So I
Do you
think in
remember?
episode 1 we eliminated Aura,
Okay.
who's the one who found his body and is related to him.
Okay.
She was, per her social media post at the high school, helping
Right.
clean up. And then last episode, thanks to a receipt that his wife got ordering food, I think,
Okay.
that proved that she had to be there to sign in based on the timestamp.
Yeah.
So that's how we were able to rule out his wife as well.
Okay.
So I think
Perfect.
that's where we're at.
And I guess I did forget to mention a little bit. Spoiler warning, obviously, it's
Sorry.
episode 3. So if you haven't seen episode 1 or episode 2, I'll make sure that link goes somewhere on the video, and that links you to the playlist so that you can actually see episodes 1 and episode 2 and get caught up. But yeah, so Silent Moon, welcome in. And then, yeah, as always, as well, we do these live. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, fantastic. Thank you so much. Join the Discord, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. I typically post on all of those locations when we're going to do the next episode live, so that you can feel free to join in and help us try to sort through the evidence live right there and try to help us solve that episode. So for this episode, we have the same kind of objective as the last 2. We're looking to eliminate a 3rd suspect. So that's what we're working to do this time around. I'm trying to think, for this time, let's see. Let's try closing that just a little bit. Yeah, it looked like it was bleaching us out there a little bit. So we do have the box. We have some more evidence that we can go through. We have, obviously physical evidence and paper evidence that we've got as well. So we'll be able to go through that. I will get all those actually as well posted in the Discord so that you can follow along with us. So we'll go through, if you would like, if you want to read the letter from Michelle Gray.
Do we want to do that before we dig through the box?
We'll go ahead and dig through the box first, and then while we're doing the letter, I'll get everything put into Discord.
Cool. That sounds good. We got a lot of evidence baggies, but we'll save those till last here.
Yeah.
So we got our little card for box 3. So we got the letter from the private investigator. Always the most fancy card stock. And then we got a bunch of stuff in the envelope.
All right.
Same for me for myself. I can't get it out.
There you go. Here, you want to set that somewhere?
Yes.
All right. So, what do we have here? We have the 2 evidence bags, it looks
I was
like.
going to go through those in a second. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
2 evidence
That's fine.
baggies.
All right, and we've got our case file obviously here. I do really like with this episode that it's always coming in these, that it keeps coming in these files, like we're receiving an actual case file. I think something fell out of it though.
Fancy schmancy. If something fall out.
Yeah.
You fix. I don't get to see this at all beforehand.
Right. I'd go through and scan
stop.
everything ahead of time, but I don't read anything except for enough to be able to pull any extra stuff from the website. But that's about it. So
you have much better willpower than I do.
All right. So yeah, if you want to go through it, let's see what all we have.
So little dossier here. Those we've got some financial records, some receipts, And is this a ledger? What is this? Main something something September account ledger. Yep. More of account ledger.
Okay.
Okay, lots and lots of. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of account
Yeah, I
ledger.
think that's
4 pages of account ledger.
So yeah, account stuff, but was that account?
It says account ledger right here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we'll figure out what it regards to in a little bit, I guess. Some type of a ledger list.
Maybe.
Oh, the toxicology report came in. That's exciting. We'll have to see
Main Street Drugstore and Pharmacy. So that's what it's from.
And side note, a little bit of gory photos this time apparently that I was not expecting. Cool times. All right. And then
Chad is aware the photos there are some corpse photos included in this
that was a surprise
episode. So we'll try to make sure that before we show those on stream, we'll try to make sure that we mention something just in case anybody does need to.
I did flash them already once back. Just
okay,
very
that's
quickly.
fine. So yeah,
quick drive by.
It's nothing too real gory. It's just ligature marks, that kind of stuff, bruising,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Blunt force trauma type stuff.
Definitely was a little surprised though.
But it does depict, obviously a dead body, so we want to make sure that everybody's okay. Let's see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's see. Should we start with her? Well, let's see what we got. The evidence was a chain of some kind.
Okay.
And some type of cloth. So we'll have to figure. Oh,
socks.
Is that a sock?
Yeah, socks.
Those are cool. They're alien socks.
There you go. Some alien socks.
Souvenir.
Right? All right. So are we ready to dive in?
I think so. Let's read her letter and kind of get a lay down.
Let's switch on over to the investigation room so you all can see what we're reading. And then while Mrs. Strange is reading over the letter from Michelle Gray that really kind of goes over everything that we're doing, what I'll do is get everything copied and posted into the Hunted Killers set channel of our Discord. So again, if you need that link, it's right there in the chat if you're joining us live. Otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube, down in the description below is a link to our Discord. Feel free, join in. We have some discussions there, and anything that we get on some of these, like when we do the monthly ones where we get emails in between, all that gets shared inside of that channel. So feel free to join that Discord. All right, I'll hand it over to Mrs. Strange so she can read that the announcement for that. There you go.
So Michelle sent us a third letter here. It says, "Hello, the pace of this investigation is picking up fast. Now that we've broadened our scope to look beyond the initial crime scene, investigating is a bit like stepping forward and backward in time. That's interesting. As we piece together the evidence not only from the night of the murder, but from all the years prior to, the difficulty lies in our attempt to see the bigger picture while still paying attention to the finer details. With an ongoing case, there will always be new evidence cropping up. There are several questions we can try to answer with what we've gathered thus far. Almost all of the crime scene evidence from Charlie's car has been processed and sent back to me, save for a few remaining pieces here and there. In this package, I've included a clasped opal necklace and a pair of novelty socks that were recovered. I'd wager that these items were in the car before the night of the murder, but they should still provide some useful information. The toxicology report came back, along with photos of Charlie's body taken right before the autopsy. It will be imperative to compare the autopsy report with the toxicology to understand how exactly Charlie died. An assumption was made at the crime scene, but only an official examination can reveal the cause of death. With toxicology in mind, I decided to survey the suspects to learn if they would consent to a drug test, should the need arise. I wrote down my observations to the best of my ability, and I can't say their responses shocked me based on how their personalities have presented so far. In my continuous research of the suspects, I came across a blog belonging to Arthur Hughes. He wrote a blog post on the night of the murder, which included a video that featured not only Charlie, but one of our other suspects as well. I took a screenshot of the post and stored it in the Quail folder under the Images tab on Deviant Tracker, accessible with the password. I've uploaded the video separately, which you can find in the Tetra folder under the Videos tab. Password. When you get a chance to review the video, make sure to listen closely. Some of the audio is slightly distracting. That's fun. Okay. Now that we've uncovered that lawsuit filed by Susan Lee, I made it top priority to obtain any documents related to Charlie's employment and finances to get a better idea of what his day-to-day life.
I missed Silent Moon's comment right after you were
Oh,
showing the socks. It was aliens. That's a wrap. Mystery solved.
oh,
Done.
I missed that one too.
Case closed. Case closed.
I love it.
Silent Moon breaking that wide open, solving the case right there. You know what? Absolutely.
Showing up Michelle Gray one day at a time. That's awesome. Let's see here. Something about his day-to-day life. I gained access to his account for Main Street's pharmacy's management software and was able to view a ledger of prescriptions. If there's any piece of evidence that will corroborate Susan's claims of misconduct, it can be found in that ledger. Next, I checked Charlie's online bank account and found an unusual pattern of checks to and from Antonio Villar. I singled out a few of the checks and printed out the statement for you to take a look at. Maybe you can make some sense of the situation. In perhaps a similar vein, I found a much older transaction Charlie made in the form of a receipt from the local pawn shop. It was in Charlie's box of things from high school, which I expect I'll be revisiting often. Upon closer inspection, I was surprised to see that the receipt related to a piece of evidence I sent you last time. With the amount of information we have so far, I'm confident that we'll make some significant headway in the investigation. I'll keep sending you anything and everything to help narrow down some of these suspects. It will make both of our jobs easier and hopefully clear this case of any distractions.
Okay. So, so KSI, we don't, we haven't gotten told yet that they haven't gone missing. So maybe cows are missing. I don't know. We haven't received that. Maybe that's like episode 4 or 5. They finally tell us that all the cows are missing, and then it really was aliens.
Well, there was that sheep slaughter thing.
Yeah, there was. You know what? You're right. There was a sheep slaughter thing that happened nearby.
Oh, it's a dead sheep.
So
it was on the back of a newspaper.
I don't know. I mean, nothing right now debunking that it wasn't aliens. So
I mean, because they would totally leave socks with photos of themselves.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a calling sign, okay? Like, okay, so I mean, we're going 90s, right? So I mean, obviously that's like the Wet Bandits, right, from Home Alone. It was their call sign, okay? It's their call sign. They left the socks behind, right? Okay, like the Wet Bandits had to, clog up the sink and overflow the sink.
Which I never undered that till I was like,
they were exactly. I mean, they were the Wet Bandits.
Did not make any sense at all. Exactly. Yes. I just love it.
Look, see, all right. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I can think this way, but
it depends on the day. Play the fifth.
All right, and then let's see here. So we got that. We went over, kind of what we're doing. We got some, tips here as well. Let's look at the physical evidence, I think, first, because I can pull up the evidence checklist, I think.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with the chain.
Let's see, evidence checklist. So this was the necklace with an opal inset, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it's evidence marker E.
Oh, that's kind of pretty. Very sensible. That looks awful familiar, though. Hold on a second. That looks like... Wait a second.
The necklace looks familiar already?
Yeah. I've been spending too much time looking at photos. Sorry, guys. Lots of photos.
All right, so this is evidence marker E. It was in the car underneath the passenger side seat. Oh. Yeah.
It was on Aurora's neck in this social media photo.
Okay.
Or not Aurora, sorry, Aura.
Aura, yeah.
I keep wanting to call her the name of the Beauty and
So, but I mean, we already ruled Aura out. So,
true. But that's definitely her necklace.
But that's crazy that. So her necklace was found. Now it could, but why would it be in the car? I don't know. Maybe.
But they are cousins.
Yeah. But I mean, did she wasn't there something about that she went? Did she go in the car? I'm trying to remember. I think she went in the car.
She moved him because she was trying to check his pulse when she was trying to feel.
Kind of weird though. Why it would be under the passenger seat? It was under the passenger seat.
Unless someone else got a hold of it, and the bad guy who was in the car maybe had something to deal with it. Yeah.
So that was in the car under the passenger seat. So
And the only reason I recognize that so quickly is because I noticed all the women in all these photos were wearing a necklace. Like the girl with Gavin's wearing a really dark necklace. His wife's wearing a really thin, pretty necklace. Like even Nita's wearing a necklace. So Everyone's got something around the neck. Knew I
Right.
recognized that.
All right, there we go.
Oh, I had a shirt before. So that
There's
one was
that one.
passenger seat, you said?
Yeah, so that was passenger seat.
Okay. Under. Wow.
Yeah, under the passenger seat.
At no point did she mention going on that side.
Right.
She mentioned his door was unlocked. She opened the door. She felt for a pulse, something. At some point, he ended up slumping forward, but we don't know if she moved him or if it was accidental or what. Have you felt inside the socks for anything by chance?
I haven't touched anything inside
All
the
right.
socks.
Probably nothing, but I'm going in.
Is
Actually, there's something in here.
there? Oh. What is it? What is it?
And it's a piece of paper.
It's from the aliens.
It's
It's from the aliens, chat.
And it totally has glow in the dark writing on it.
Oh.
So you guys know.
All right, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so these are the
exciting.
socks.
Okay, I gotta fulfill the other sock.
So where was it? It was inside of
It
there,
was
right?
inside of the first sock, yeah. I actually had no
Okay.
idea that was going to be in there, guys. I know Hunt a Killer, and I know you got to search.
So
every
I
nook and
don't.
cranny.
This is obviously not scanned.
You didn't know about this.
Planting evidence to draw suspicion. Yeah.
Well, at first I thought maybe I'm getting excited over the fact that it's just an insert for how to care for the socks. So I was feeling like really stupid for a second. Like, oh, it's just a piece of paper telling you don't wash them or wash them in hand wash only, something of that nature.
Right.
So that is so exciting.
These will go great with my suits.
So where did those?
Totally gonna wear these at work.
I'm so jealous, actually. Where did
Once the case is solved, obviously. I mean, we don't want to taint evidence, okay? Once the case is solved, then we're good, and the evidence gets released. We'll be good.
So I'm trying to think.
I work at a luxury hotel, so this is gonna be perfect.
Absolutely luxurious. People are going to be killing for a pair of those.
Right? Okay.
Where was the socks found? Can you tell me?
Let's find out. Socks. Marker. Evidence marker D. Let's see. Okay, and location was in the trunk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, souvenir
Yes.
for a job well done, right? Like we're getting rewarded already because they know we're gonna do it. They know we're gonna catch this murderer. All right, this killer, we're gonna get him. All right, and then description is novelty print. Oh, and it actually says blank piece of paper found inside.
Oh, well, I'm really, really glad I never looked
Yeah,
at that.
I didn't read it either.
No.
I don't read it until after we
I
look
don't
at it.
remember it saying that from the first box, though. Like, I would normally remember something like that.
Well, we didn't read through the evidence list, and I couldn't print it.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. That's right. That's what it was.
So novelty prints. Okay, so socks. Aliens. And then paper inside. Now, was that paper? Did you check? Did you find that paper in the right sock or the left sock?
Depends on how they were laying, because when they were laying, like, you're joking on here now.
Yeah, I
aren't
am
you?
joking.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which foot
I
you
know.
put the socks on.
I know. I was trying
I'm
to think
horrible,
about
I
which
know.
one it was on top, but
All right,
you
aliens.
got me.
Right? All right, so paper
I'm
found.
highly intelligent, but I'm also highly gullible. So it's a fun combination.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, so are we doing
Blank
this
piece of
yet,
paper
or we
found
kind of
inside.
leave this for
Okay.
later? I'm kind of dying. There's a lot of writing on it.
Is there a lot of writing?
There's a lot of writing.
Okay.
So I'm not sure we're going to be able to get it all show up at once or not. And I don't know if they'll be able to see on there. So, like, there's like two different...
Yeah, it gets bleached out by the
Do you
light.
want to write it down on here as I'm reading it to you?
Yeah, let me grab a pen.
I'll try to get a photo of this in a minute. Sometimes
Where
I
did
can get
put
the
my
photo
other
show up. But
marker?
if not, I can grab you a pen.
It's all good.
Okay, it says, found these online.
Okay, so found.
Found these, THESE, online. Reminded me of high school or HS. They actually do of HS, which I'm assuming would mean high school.
Okay, so reminded me
Of
of
HS.
H.S or just
No,
HS?
just HS, no dots. Okay. and then the rest is there's a whole other line. You ready?
Okay.
We should go back to the old delivery system. Haha.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it. Okay. Go back. We
Yes.
should go back to the old delivery system. Haha.
Haha.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So piece of paper, hidden message using blacklight. So with a message of. Let's see this way. Really. Nothing else. All right. So
I'm pulling out the yearbooks. I want to compare the writing because that's very thin writing.
is it?
Yeah, compared to
Do you
the
think
last
it's
time.
that same handwriting as
Well, I
the
don't- no.
hidden message in the yearbook?
I don't think so. In the yearbook, it looks way thicker. Not showing up very well at all this time.
Oh, Jesse Ops coming with that raid. I
Yeah, no,
appreciate you
it's
very
much
much.
thicker.
Thank you so much.
It's much thicker.
Much thicker. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe that was written
Right
with a
here.
gel, or was written with a gel pen version, right?
Yeah.
I don't know when that was
Keep
written.
the biz.
That's the part we don't know. We don't know when that was written.
True.
So, Jesse Ops, I hope you are having a fantastic day. Thank you for
Yeah,
bringing your
that's about
community
double
in.
the thickness of what that handwriting
Okay.
is. Yeah.
So if you are just coming in and joining us from Jesse's stream, one, Jesse, I hope you had an amazing stream and had a fantastic day. Two, if you're just joining us, we are on episode 3 of Hunt to Killers, Class of 98. So Charles MacDonagh was murdered while attending his high school reunion. And we are, at this point, working to find that killer. So we've eliminated 2 suspects so far. We are working to eliminate at least one more this case. I think that's what it's going to be, is just one more this case, or this episode, I mean. And then yeah, so that's what we're working on.
I'm gonna try this.
If you haven't seen episode 1 or episode 2, the link right there. If you're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget, like, subscribe. And then 2, down in the description below will be the link for the videos. So there you go. All right.
I'll have to play with it a little bit. I think I could probably get a pano of it eventually with the lighting it across the way.
Right.
But I'll have to play with it a little bit to get that to work out.
Hey, Aura.
So.
Okay.
Back to the old delivery system. That's
Yeah, so I don't know what that's gonna entail.
I feel like it has to do with the biz that other person refers to from the high school yearbook.
Right.
Biz
Yeah, I mean,
running
yeah,
while
something, right? Because
Yeah.
like, go back to the old delivery system.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing there was some kind of specific delivery system back from the high school days that they did a specific way, and
Yeah.
then now they're doing something
Pre-technology.
different, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is all based out of, obviously, like, current day reunion, but it's a reunion for the class of 1998. So there's a lot of throwback. I even look, I'm proud of myself. Okay, look, I even went as far as updating my computer. Okay.
Which
So,
freaked me out. I got in here and I'm like, when did you put
I
Windows 98
completely
on your
updated my
freaking
computer. I made sure that I brought it up to date to the most current Windows edition. All right. I was rocking Windows 3.1 before this, so I really wanted to make sure that I brought it up to speed for this case of Windows 98. So that's that's what we're rocking right now. Okay, so there we go. Get that back opened up. Boom, there we go. Wait, so let's see. Oh my god! Wait, Windows XP is out. Oh my gosh!
Ooh, that sounds
Wait,
fancy.
hold on. I thought the next one was Windows 2000. Like, I'm supposed to do Windows. I thought Windows 2000 was the best one. Right? Isn't that the
It may have been if they
like
named it like Windows 00.
98 SE? So there you go. And all right.
You totally feel it as well. There's just some things you can't replace. I still love the little S character in the back of the yearbook
Right.
because it just makes me think of nostalgia.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
the bright
like yeah, with
smile,
drawing all that
that little
stuff. Yeah. So
fancy
it's
S
been an awesome
curve.
case of like reminiscing on a lot of stuff. So
Oh,
it's been pretty
speaking
cool.
of, I figured out a few more of these little things in the back. So I'm
Oh yeah,
excited
there you
about
go.
this. I
Yeah.
was telling him I was my nerd got the better
I don't
of
have
me.
that up to be able to pull up right away, but
So the hags thing was driving me nuts because I did not recognize this at all. But apparently it means have a great summer,
oh, there you go.
which I was like, that would make sense because I'm like, why would she be calling a guy a hag? It's just weird. Um, and then I also found out that this one, the RHTS, means raise hell this summer. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So I don't know. I'm nerdy. I thought that
There
was
you
exciting.
go. And then yeah, wasn't another one too that you figured out fluff?
Yes.
That was over here,
I started nerding out
I
so much, so
think,
I was
or
looking at
something.
people's quotes. So Robin had a really fun throwback quote. I just didn't understand it at all at the time when we were looking at the first episode. It was every moment passes me and I remember you, and it says fluff supernova sneeze. I'm like, or sneeze, what is that? Apparently it's a throwback to a different Hunt a Killer episode or series. I don't want to say
Mhm.
which one, but it's apparently a band.
Ah,
Fluff
there you
is a
go.
band and Supernova Sleeves is the name of the song.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's so cool and makes a lot more sense because on its own, I'm like, that makes no sense
Right.
whatsoever.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense then. So that's why we
So,
didn't know what it was because it was referenced
yes,
to a different case.
yes, a reference to a band that only exists technically in the Hunt a Killer world.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. You want to
So,
do toxicology next?
yes, let's do
Okay.
that. Because this, I think, will
Microsoft
shed some different light.
Millennium, or yeah, Millennium Edition. Oh my God, I remember that one too.
You said that, I immediately started thinking of that horrible Millennium song that was just so awful. Awful, awful, awful.
Right.
All
All
right.
right.
All right,
So,
let's
here we
see
go.
if he was poisoned. Something tells me he wasn't just strangled because any grown man that is being strangled by anybody else is going to claw, fight back, and then some.
All
So
right.
I don't know.
So yeah.
Looks
So
like we had something good in there.
yeah,
So
amphetamines, or whatever how you pronounce that word.
you just had I had it and amphetamines. Thank you.
Amphetamines. There we go.
I'm like you said it now. I'm trying to say it the way you said it.
Barbiturates,
Mhm.
negative. Fentanyl, negative. Opiates, negative. Benzodiazepines.
Also known as benzos.
Diazepines.
Oh, diazepine.
Positive.
Mm-hmm.
Diazepam greater than 800 ng
Which is just how they
or ml.
how much? No, it's ng per ml. It's a
Oh, okay.
reference. If it's a reference unit to quantify
Oh,
the
okay.
amount. Yeah.
So the
And that's interesting.
Nordiazepam greater than
Yeah,
100.
nordiazepam. It's another type of it's similar. They're cousins, if you will, in the
Okay.
drug community. But they fall in the same
Um,
category. Different drugs do different things. Some are uppers, some are downers. Some are
Right.
stimulants, stuff like that.
All right. Cannabis negative. Cocaine negative. Oxy negative.
It's really interesting that they had that one all by itself.
Which one?
Oxy.
Um.
Because I'm pretty sure oxycodone is also a opiate, but I could be wrong.
Ah.
I could have sworn it was an opioid. Oh, blood alcohol.
Yep.
So
blood alcohol
that's more
content.
than legal driving level, isn't it?
Yeah. 0.08 would be the limit.
He drove drunk.
Yep.
Shame.
All right. Creatine normal at 65. pH normal.
And the creatinine would matter. It's a kidney value, so it tells you.
Oh, I thought it was
the kidneys.
creatine.
Oh, sorry.
Or is that creat?
It could be creatine. We can go with that.
What were you saying?
Creatinine.
Creatinine?
Yeah.
Creatinine.
Or creatine. I don't know.
Oxy-Islama, thank you.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I'm feeling really stupid right now, but I could have sworn oxy was in the opioid family.
Yeah.
That one gets extra tested for.
I just saw your comment, KSI. Yeah, Hunted Killer stuff has been amazing. We did we did a case for ourselves that we started out. I had bought it as a Valentine's Day gift for Mrs. Strange. Yes, because that's the kind of Valentine gift that Mrs. Strange would want.
100% hit it on the park. Just
Um,
absolutely
and
ecstatic.
so
So
we did
awesome.
that first case for 6 months, and then when Mallory Rock came in, we decided we wanted to start streaming it and involve chat and involve everybody in it, and it has been absolutely a blast to
So
involve
much
you
fun.
all. Mallory Rock was outstanding.
There's so many things
Um,
we would have missed if we didn't do it with the
yeah,
group.
so we
There's so many things we would
did.
have missed.
Then we
Yeah.
did, what was it?
We did
Hunter's
that special
Lodge.
one.
So we
That
did a
special
special
edition.
edition version of Hunter's Lodge, and then now we're
Yeah.
on to Class of '98.
Yeah.
So all these videos are on YouTube as well under the playlist for Hunter Killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then next after this, I think we're doing what, Moon Summit?
Hopefully, as long as Hyper Harpy gets it in time.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll probably go on to one of the Earth days, or by then maybe off the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. We decided for the most current 6 episode series they're doing is called Off the Record, which is after the Mallory Rock for those who start currently. But we wanted to wait till all 6 were in before we started it, because last time waiting every single month for a box was torture.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It's nicer to have control of all 6 boxes and be able to kind of set our own schedule when we want to do them with you guys.
Right.
So that way, if we really get excited and want to grind it out a week later, we can.
Exactly. All right. So it looks like yeah, a lot of energy drinks use that, and like so that's why I recognized it was as a workout supplements, but it's a kidney value pertaining to level of proteins in the kidney. Benzodiazepines are prescribed for their sedative and hypnotic.
From the medical standpoint, it's one of 3 values we look at to describe kidney function or failure.
Right.
So if creatinine is high, as well as 2 other values, it's a sign that the kidneys are no longer functioning correctly or are technically very angry and failing.
All right, so now
it's interesting that's the only chemistry value they did. That's very interesting.
And then it says something about ID 114 tube container volume mass not given for
I'm not
collection.
quite gathering.
So not given for the collection date and time either. So I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah, it'd be weird that you wouldn't.
Because normally, especially in the
I guess
medical...
right now, I guess in the event of it being a Hunter Killer case, it does make sense that the collection date and time was not included.
It would make more sense if they redacted that or something. So that it
Matrix
was there,
source blood. So.
This is this next page is the questionnaire where she asked everybody if they did drugs or not.
Okay, so whether they agree to a drug test.
That's what same thing.
Yeah.
Different way of phrasing it, I guess, but same thing.
Well, there is a difference between do you agree to a drug test versus did you do drugs?
Either way, the question is, have you done drugs, right?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, or you could just say you could have not done drugs and still say no.
Fair enough.
All right, so we've got Robin, looks like. So this is not a consent form for drug testing. The survey is to verify suspect cooperation in the event of potential drug testing during the investigation process.
So this is basically
Robin said yes. Did anybody say no? Like, everybody's saying yes except for Gavin.
Which doesn't surprise me because he's a surgeon.
And Antonio.
He can't risk testing positive.
So...
And that's because Antonio is probably going to be high on something.
Yeah, probably. So insisted that drug testing would be an invasion of privacy, appeared agitated and tense. That was for Gavin. Antonio did not believe drug testing was relevant to the case, was concerned I was focusing on the wrong things.
I'm just checking a thing before I say it and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so Antonio is the one that owns the record shop. So I told Tony one other thing I figured out after the last episode is that the pharmacy where Charlie works and the DJ record store where Antonio works and owns are next to each other. So I thought that was a little interesting because they also seem to be pretty BFF.
Yeah.
And so where was I going with that? I was going with that because somewhere with that.
Well, just I don't know. I know you had brought up that they were right next to the pharmacy and the store where the container that the last evidence piece that we have hanging up already was bought from or looked like it came from that store, and that's right next to the pharmacy. So
I just feel like they've got a little side hustle of selling some drugs.
Yeah. All right, so
about it.
So it looks like Robin said that she uses holistic medicine,
which would make sense.
Offered to provide a list of her remedies. Arthur was curious to know how other suspects answered the survey, but understood I was not at liberty to discuss. Expressed that he has not been on medication for some time. Susan did not offer any additional response, appeared composed. Sarah asked if drug testing would expedite the investigation process, appeared restless.
Mhm.
Nicholas expressed that he was extremely busy on weekdays and asked if drug testing could be scheduled for a Saturday. Aura appeared upset initially, was concerned I would drug test without a valid court order, and accused me of trying to circumvent legal processes. Offered cooperation after I explained I would follow all legal processes should drug testing occur.
Now, to clarify that, she's also the one that is very familiar with the legal system and was a lawyer. So that would make sense for her to be distressed by that, because someone who practices law is going to want to follow the law,
Right.
but not necessarily have to provide extra stuff without court order.
So, Nita, this is the one. Nita's the one that
Did
doesn't
you already read
like.
Gavin's?
Yeah, we read Gavin's and we
Okay.
read Antonio's. Is Nita the one that doesn't like Michelle Gray?
Very much so.
Okay, right.
She just feels that it was absolutely inappropriate for him to involve Michelle
That's
Gray in
right.
the investigation, and they were classmates, but we don't know what the beef is there. But yes, from the first article she wrote regarding the investigation and the death, she obviously has it out for Michelle Gray.
Yeah, okay, that's
Not
right.
a
That's
fan.
I was trying to remember that part.
Yeah.
So that makes sense on this statement where had several questions about the investigation unrelated to drug testing. This is Nita appeared annoyed when I told her I was not at liberty to discuss. So
And
that makes a lot of sense.
That would also make a lot of sense because she's also a journalist and she loves getting
That's
gossip
right.
and nitpicking at stuff. And she was the one that during her alibi/interview was trying to get Michelle to answer questions to her instead of providing answers to Michelle. So
Right.
like she kept fishing the entire interview that she's supposed to be answering questions to get Michelle to answer questions for her. So
That's right.
it seems like her personality is very like hardcore that way, where she
Mhm.
like pushes for the information but doesn't want to give up much herself.
All right. Anything?
That's
I don't
pretty
think there's anything on that page, right? So
I'm not too surprised about the
let me
Gavin thing
let me put this
because
one up here.
Gavin is very rich and he likes to party a lot, which he's made very clear,
Right.
and he's very famous. So I could see him shutting it down just because a lot of people that are well off or do plastic surgeries like that
Yeah.
could.
I wanted to make sure I at least took a look at the original just to make sure that sometimes, like, if I copy stuff, so
Yeah.
sometimes
No, it all,
things
it
that
all
are
came
on the
through.
original maybe don't show up in a
Hold on.
copy or a scanned version. So, uh,
Oh, it just says suspect name, but there is no other suspect name, so that's what it
Correct.
was. Okay.
yep. All right. We're gonna do bank statements next.
Sure. Is
Okay.
that?
That's
that
right here.
just this?
Yeah, it's just this.
Oh, I thought she said there was a ledger involved too. Okay.
I think that's the pharmacy
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's see. Let me move this over here so they can see. This is what we're looking
So
at
they're
in the
basically
file
writing
folder.
checks to each other. So Antonio wrote a check to Charlie, and Charlie wrote a check to Antonio.
Okay. So online check history for account, printout for selected. Okay. So we don't really know who
I think I might have their
whose account
signatures.
this is. But we know that, yeah, like you said, Charles wrote a check to Antonio. It wasn't.
They're different accounts. Look at the bottom of the checks. They're
No,
different
right,
accounts.
right.
Yeah.
So does either of those match the? Oh yeah, 2927. So this is Charles's account.
Well, the 2927 is Charles, but I think the
No. So this is the history though
7644.
from this account.
Oh,
So
because it would keep track of both coming and going.
correct.
checks. Okay.
So this is Charles's bank account that we're looking at.
And I think she might have specified that when she sent it over.
Yeah, is okay. Order of checks
these
is
have
last.
dates.
Yeah,
Wait a
so
second.
order of checks is last one first.
Why
So
do these checks say 2018?
I don't know.
That makes no sense. Oops.
Maybe to show some history.
2018 would make no sense because supposedly this is happening in 2008. If they went, well, I guess class of 98, so they graduated high school in 98, right?
Right.
So fast forward 10 years for a 10-year high school
Right.
reunion,
Is it
right?
the 10-year or was this? Did it say 10-year?
At least I swear to God it said 10-year.
I don't remember it saying that. What anniversary one it was?
I thought it said somewhere that it was 10-year high school reunion. Maybe it was a 20. That's just weird.
Do you have the invite? Because that's where it'd be on, right?
Yeah. I swear it was a 10-year high school reunion. So I guess you're right. 20 would make more sense because that would time up to 2018. It's just that was so weird. So I'm like, I
Let's look
swear
at the
it was a
original
10-year.
letter from Michelle Gray, maybe.
I think I only said class of 98 though. I don't remember it saying anything else specific. I mean, I guess it would make more sense though, because these people don't look like they're in their 20s. They look like they're in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah,
Class
I
of
don't
98
see.
reunion. Nope, you're right.
I
I
don't see anything in the
swear in
letter.
one of the synopsises it said 10-year reunion. I don't know why.
Yeah, so it'd
Let me
be
look
a
at the first
20-year
time.
reunion if it was possibly that. And the invite didn't say anything.
No, it was generic. No, I just
Okay.
probably misread that or something. I'll have to look into that later. That's just very interesting. Okay, moving on. So we'll say 20 some for now, because obviously you can't have 2018 written checks in 2008. So we'll roll with it.
Yeah, I don't see anything
That's interesting.
in the sheriff's letter either.
I swear this whole time I've been going off of this as a 10-year high
Oops,
school
sorry,
reunion.
chat.
Sorry, guys.
I did not mean to accidentally show that one. So, but that was a brief glimpse, so hopefully you're okay. I apologize about that. Accidentally showed the corpse photos.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll just make sure in
So,
the YouTube video we'll put a big FYI. It pops up randomly throughout.
uh,
So these are some interesting
so
amounts.
yeah, so Antonio sent a check to Charles saying, return cart here is dumb.
Where's that one at?
The bottom
Oh,
one.
okay. That one's hugely
Yeah,
amounted.
6,800. Charles sending a check for $15 saying all of this is yours. Antonio sending $20 to so Charles sent 6,800 on the 14th. The next day, or sorry, Antonio sent Charles the 6,800 on the 14th. The next day, Charles sent $15. Then 5 days later, Antonio sent $20 saying moving isn't a product of our time, in quotations. So
Third time. I'm assuming that might mean a drug or something. Moving isn't. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
and then 2 days later, Charles sends $5 back saying it wasn't outdoor figure skating. So I don't know. The autopsy. Let me
Well, I'm
pull
just
that up.
noticing there's certain words that are capitalized and there's certain words that aren't capitalized. Look at that. Like return cart here is capitalized, but is dumb is not. All is capitalized, but the rest is not. And then moving and product of our time are capitalized, but the rest is not. And then the final one, it wasn't outdoor. Is that really saying door? It's like
So
something
there you
figure
go, Llama.
skating.
It's not really. I mean, it's dated, but not dated.
There's a lot of
It's redacted.
there's a lot of capitalizations in that top one. I wonder if there's code words in those messages to each other somewhere.
Possibly
Yeah.
those checks to each other. That
Yeah.
very well could be some kind of.
But I think the A to C thing, that again makes me suspicious that there's a drug situation going on. They have a side hustle. The biz that I think Antonio is the person who left the message to Charlie in his book. I'll keep the biz running while you're away at college. Charlie was leaving town to go to U Chicago. That would make sense, right? He came back as a pharmacist. He has access to drugs. Perfect. Keep up the biz. I don't know. This is all my theory. No proof at all. Just purely assuming. But I wonder if that's just their way of communicating stuff.
Antonio, they both write a lot of checks apparently.
Yeah.
Because look, so Antonio Villar, check number 341.
Yeah.
The first one. Then you look at this next check, it's 421. That's the next number.
And it's how many days later?
1 day.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry.
A few days, but not many.
But still a few days, but yeah, not many.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charles, over the course of 7 days.
Mm-hmm. Unless they're intentionally going out of order, even though why I would not understand that, but maybe they're intentionally going out of order. Maybe
correct, Salomon. So that is another really good question.
What?
Why did Antonio pay Charles 6,800? So Return cart here if you're going off capitalization, so RCH. Um,
MP,
all of this is yours. The only thing capitalized is A.
You know what? I'm going to play with this a little later with that whole puzzle breaker code thingy and see if it unscrambles any words.
Yeah,
any of these.
That works.
So I feel like there's some secret code or communication here.
Moving isn't a, quote, product of our time. P is the only letter capitalized, and M.
Let me double check the signatures. Let me make sure the signatures match on both of these. Make sure it's not fraud.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't see Charlie's on here, but Antonio's. Oh, never mind. He signs it totally differently in high school.
Well, it's similar on these two checks, but it does look a little bit different for Charles. Yeah. Which, I mean, honestly, my signature doesn't look exactly the same every time.
It wasn't his. It was more Antonio's I was trying to look at. Not that these are different, but I wanted to see what they compared to high school. But in high school, he penciled his name. He didn't write in cursive. He didn't do an actual signature.
Right. So, that's a good catch there as well, Llama.
What?
So just that they're low numbers on the check, so they haven't necessarily used.
They
a lot
could
of
change a lot of accounts, or they could change accounts often. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, that is the bank. Oh, that's cool. This bank is mentioned on the map.
Arcadia Financial Corporation.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was a bank though. I thought it was a business, like a different kind of business. But yeah, I just saw that on the map this morning. I don't remember where it was on the map, but it's on the map. That's cool.
Okay, yeah. Well, the checks have the same routing number, so that's good.
Oh, it does say 3-day street. Okay, I thought that's a 9-day street. Never mind. Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if it explains quite what she was hinting at. What was she hinting at again?
Your mom was a banker? Oh my gosh. Look at that. For 25 years? Man. Well, look, you're glad you're here helping us with this case. All right. Well, do we want to look at...
all that we can get.
Yeah, do we want to look at Main Street Drugstore and Pharmacy?
I was trying to see what she says about the check, but I don't see the check. Oh, here we go. Next, I checked Charlie's online bank account and found an unusual pattern of checks to and from Antonio. I singled out a few of them and printed them out. So there's more than what we're seeing. She just found the ones that she thought was weirdest. Maybe you can make sense of the situation, is how she says it. Maybe you can make sense of the situation. We'll probably have to come back to that. Maybe it'll make more sense when we add more information into this into that situation.
Right. Okay. Nice. You have a degree in cyber forensics. Nice.
Oh, that's cool. And intimidating.
Right. Yeah, it's all good. So, caveat, I will say this, I love the Hunted Killer series, and we've loved them so far. There was one we did, Murder at the Motel.
It's a single.
Yeah, it's like a one. It's just a one-off box. It's not like multiple episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm in charge of safety and security at 2 hotels. So I do lock audits on doors and investigations into things. And I'm not going to lie though, that case drove me up the wall. The lock audits are horrible. There was just a lot of speculation in that case. Yeah, there was a lot of holes. There was a lot of holes in that case.
A lot of assumptions, things you don't do as a detective. That
it kind of got to us on that one. But these other ones, these ones where there's 6 episodes, have all been really good.
Yeah. We really the Hunter's Lodge one too, but we kind of felt the same thing with that one. There were still some expected jumps you had to go through. There was
some stuff that just didn't get closed out at the end. Yeah, and there was just some stuff that didn't click of why.
I feel like both of the single episode things we've done are okay. We're good. They were okay, but they weren't nearly as amazing as these 6 packs are.
Yeah,
these 6 seasons.
The 6 episode boxes are awesome. So if you can get the box sets, or if you want to sign up for the monthly one, that's fine too. Like I said, we already did Mallory Rock. A lot of people use our videos to look back on to help them after they've done an episode or whatever the case may be.
Or kind of make sure they didn't miss anything.
Right. Yeah. So on our YouTube page is that, and then also in the Discord, I have a link that you can use to get I think it's 30% off of your first box for the subscription. So,
but I'll be honest, if you go that route, cool, but you don't want to stop at just one box. That first box is a 20 teaser for the whole meat and potatoes thing ahead of you. Yes. They're very good about including yearbooks and magazines in the first box. That gives you so much fun little
I know, right?
Back at throughout the case. It keeps pulling you in further.
Exactly. All right, so we've got the Main Street Drugstore and Pharmacy.
I'm already finding one thing I'm finding a little weird. Not that this means much, but There's one script filled under CF vet hospital,
Okay.
but
For ketamine.
right,
Okay.
but it's not the drug that we end up
It's a
getting worried
new
about later.
prescription.
But I find it's weird that that's filled under CF vet hospital, but then there's also stuff filled under Susan Lee herself. I find that a little interesting.
Well,
But I'm still not
maybe.
seeing the Valium that she's accusing him of mis
Right.
handling.
So
I'm still not
maybe
seeing
the
that.
one under Susan Lee, maybe that's like a personal or
Maybe,
prescription.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. I have to look up what some of these are. One of them might be
Estra.
it.
Estradiol
Actually, hold on. I think I know what that is.
Valerate.
I don't want to say it out loud until I double check myself.
Is
I
that
don't
like
wanna
an
be offensive.
estrogen?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was thinking either birth control or more likely something hormone therapy related for a gender change.
Yeah. Very
But
possible.
these are assumptions not meant to offend anybody. Just thinking outside my head here.
No, man. I mean, like, that's the thing is we couldn't find a Susan Lee in the. So for those of you that may be joining in on this episode, the last couple episodes we were able to figure out that Susan Lee, who is a suspect, who is being said
Yep.
that Susan Lee attended this high school and was here for the reunion. Susan Lee does not exist in the yearbook. However, there was a Sean, right? Sean Lee.
Sean Lee, S-E-A-N.
So there was a Sean Lee. So that's why we're correlating that Sean Lee is Susan Lee.
And so I was correct. Apparently, it has been used as a hormone movement control, but it's also used for transgender, transgender women.
Okay.
And then it also says for menopausal symptoms. So
yeah,
multifunctioning. So it's hormone. So it's basically
yeah. So this I think helps confirm that. Yeah, so
that
hormone therapy to help with that transition, which is great. So and then. So that does confirm.
So that makes sense why Susan Lee is on there herself, but then also her hospital's on there. That's just weird.
So that's the other thing is we think that we think Susan Lee was in the vehicle.
We haven't really decided that yet because we did the math on her getting back to the vet clinic and it's pretty dicey.
Okay.
Like, could she have done it possibly, especially if she's like a track runner? Well, I haven't been able to prove that yet. But we just can't rule her in or out yet.
Right.
So, but she definitely got multiple fillings of her hormone supplement. But the only product she's ordered through the clinic, or for the clinic, is ketamine. But I could have sworn she said that maybe it was ketamine. I just could have sworn it was Valium that killed the horse. Maybe it was ketamine and I'm mixing it up. Let me read the article really quickly.
Got alprazolam. I don't know what that is.
Alprazolam?
No, ALP.
Alprazolam. I believe that's an anti-inflammatory.
Right? Yeah, you gotta have that. Yeah,
I think it's an anti-anxiety, but let me double check myself. I kind of get this one and a few of the others mixed up. There's so many anxiety and
diazepam.
Alprazolam is Xanax.
Xanax. So that's Antonio.
And Xanax is treating anxiety and panic disorder.
Arthur is on diazepam.
Which the diazepam is used for a ton of things. We use it to stop seizures in animals. We use it for surgeries for horses. We can use it in combination with other things.
Right.
It's multifunctioning. But it's technically under the word sedative and anxiolytic, which I don't know the name of that word off the top, or the meaning of that word on the top of my head. Basically, for anxiety and seizures is what I'm kind of roughly being told about that.
Antonio and Arthur are both listed for drugs that were in Charles' body.
Well, we found, who was that script for? Arthur in the 10 from the last episode? Was it for Arthur?
I think so.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me double check this here.
Diazepam. Yep. So diazepam was found in, or in Charlie, and then alcohol. The alprazolam. I don't know. What is that? Alprazolam.
The alprazolam.
Yeah.
That one was an anti-anxiety medication, well, it's Xanax.
Right. So that wouldn't be under any of this stuff then.
No.
The one that Antonio, or no, sorry, the one
The
that
one that
Arthur
Arthur's
has,
taking, correct.
diazepam, was
Yes.
indeed found in Charles's blood.
Yeah.
The one that Antonio is on was not.
So I just found the legal accusation thing that Susan had filed, and I'm correct, it was diazepam. So it wasn't ketamine that she was buying in the register. The issue Charlie screwed up last time was diazepam.
Right.
It was a drug concentration of diazepam.
Diazepam?
Mm-hmm.
Or which is Valium?
Diazepam. Yeah, Valium.
Okay.
Sorry, I use it interchangeably because I use it at work all the time, and it's just very habitual to use those two names interchangeably. Like everyone knows that they're both the same thing.
Right. So we were looking for then the vet hospital. So vet hospital getting a new prescription for ketamine, bulk order.
I just find that's interesting that the vet clinics use ordering ketamine, which you actually can use ketamine and diazepam together. Usually that's a really good sedative for those to be mixed.
Right.
And stuff. But I find it interesting that nowhere in this paperwork do we find any orders for Valium or diazepam.
Yeah.
The drug that supposedly kills her animals.
We see it to Arthur.
Well, we don't see it to her or her hospital, but she's claiming Charlie sold her bottles of it that were formulated incorrectly and killed her patients, basically. Or caused them to wake up during surgery, or caused them to suffocate themselves in a trough because they were unconscious post-surgery.
Right.
So I find it interesting that the drug that she's claiming killed her patients, we don't have any record of her clinic buying from him. That's just interesting to me.
So there's not exact dates. However, this in the month of September, you have Arthur Hughes listed with 4 refills remaining. And this is the part that I'm getting confused on. And then boom, right here, refill diazepam. In use, still 4 refills remaining.
Well, here, let's double check something. So Arthur, it's 5 milligram and 60. 5 milligram and 60. I just want to see if the dosage is changing. 5 milligrams 60. 5 milligrams 60.
Yeah. So September, it looks like technically 1.
He's getting way too much diazepam, and this is a controlled substance. That does not make any sense.
3, right? But it's still listed as 4 refills.
Here it says expired. Middle of the second page, October, it says expired under Arthur, and it says refills 4 or refill 4.
Yeah.
That was
so
expired.
October
like expired. It looks like it's always the same size though.
And expired. Why is it in there twice, like back to back in October?
November, it's expired as well.
So, who is it? Arthur?
Oh, and it's expired again.
So Charles is the pharmacist, right?
Yes, but not the owner of the company.
Correct.
Yes.
So Charles is the pharmacist, but not the owner of the pharmacy.
Yeah. So Susan sold both of them.
And who was really good friends with Charles? Was that Arthur?
No, Arthur always seemed competitive.
Or no, Antonio.
Yes,
Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So Antonio, who is not getting the diazepam, is the one that is friends with Charles.
I'll go through and do a bit more of an Excel document on this later because there's some really fun names in here I want to play around with more anyway. But the one thing I'm seeing is Arthur has a bunch of expired diazepam prescriptions, and I'm wondering if that's because they're looking at the current date or if those were expired at the time he tried to fill them.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I don't know. That's
sense.
The part that I didn't understand either. Why he would be listed in here multiple times and it not in that refill number not go down.
I assumed it's because he's trying to fill the same script and it's expired, so they need a new script.
No. Like in the first page.
Oh, okay. Let me
like Arthur Hughes, like the second line.
So the refill in use 4. Okay.
And then the next one, the next time you see Arthur, refills 4.
Let me pull out this script from this thing here really quick. I just want to look at the original ordered script.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone's forging scripts every month for him. Like he's getting a new script every month because he's filling in the same pharmacy, so normally that would get
right, exactly, Llama. So it could be any of those possibilities.
So let's see what that original said last time. Dr. Foster, MD, General Clinic, Arthur Hughes, diazepam 60, open for anxiety, refill 6 times. We don't see any of that on there.
Yeah, so we've got
this was
from episode 2. We were sent a 10, and inside the 10 was the script for Arthur for diazepam, dispense 60 for anxiety, and refill 6 times. So these refills are 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're right, because it's looking like Susan Lee's is going down every time, or at least from what I can tell.
Yeah.
But Arthur's, you're right, it never does. It's always 4, and that's
Now, whether this
why
is
that's
an
at 6.
actual one or not, because again, date of birth isn't there, address isn't there, date isn't there.
Well, there's not even a place for the DEA number either, and that's a legal requirement for controlled substances.
Yeah.
So, if we want to get really technical into it, it's an
right. But what I mean though is like generally looking at this from a non-medical side,
mm-hmm.
I would expect it to be dated, right? It's a prescription.
Usually a date, yes. Date of birth,
so
not so much.
Right. So, but there would at least be a date on it.
Correct.
So,
but again,
exactly. Some of it may have been forged. Who knows? At this point we don't entirely know.
No.
So.
Because this doctor's not in Chestnut Falls, which I thought was interesting. Remember? This
doctor's
in Champaign or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like he's going farther out to get drugs because his current doctors won't prescribe him more. Maybe.
Possibly.
I don't know.
All right, so we've got up
any
next.
Other names we recognize in there?
I didn't see any other, just those two.
I'll go through that a little more later, just because it's a lot. Because I agree, like the back-to-back refills and stuff like that, like that's just all very weird.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was that then in
like how many times he's tried to fill this is bonkers to me.
The Susan Lee's refills go down?
It was 4 on one page and it was 0 here. I don't think it's going down exactly in order.
So in September, the refill was expired. With 0 refills remaining.
Yeah.
And then it went to 3.
Susan Lee had 3, and that was 10 milligrams
with a renew. So that was renew.
Well, there was one time where it changed for dosing.
That was on the final month.
Okay.
So I'm just going through, and then so in November,
and 2.
It went to 2. So it went from 3 to 2, same dose refill. Yep. So that's being tracked accurately.
And then the final one, though, is weird. Look at it. It says 3 again.
Well, right, because there was a change in dose. So there was a change in the script.
Okay. Yeah.
So
they
they upped it to 20 milligrams 2 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
Which changed from.
It went from 10 to 20 milligrams.
Yeah, so from 10 2 times a month to 22 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
So with 3 refills.
Whoa. Liz dexamphetamine. Never heard of such a thing. I'm very intrigued what that is, though. Sorry, very distracted. I can't wait to go back through all these names and see if they're in the yearbook and who they are. Like, I don't know. I want to go nerd right now, and I'm going to stop myself.
Right.
I think what we're supposed to get out of this is Arthur is getting way too much diazepam, and God knows what he's doing with it. Right.
Right. No, we don't have access to any other bank statements than Arthur's. Yeah.
Huh. He pawned his golden ring.
Is that what that receipt is? Is that what we're on next?
By accident, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just
sorry.
You're good.
No, you're okay. No, you're good. We'll move to the next page.
Zoned out. Sorry. It was just
so after, so we've got also in this packet is a receipt, or copy of a receipt. So we've got Salamander Pawn, 46 Main Street. Let's see where that's at.
It's near the pharmacy.
Oh, did you already mark it?
No, I didn't mark that one though. It's on the map though. If you look, there's a letter. I just can't remember which letter it is.
Okay.
I went through the map this morning. I just never had a chance to finish naming everything.
Yeah, that's fine. So we've got Charles.
And it says pawning, so he was pawning it. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say buying it, he was pawning his ring basically. He did it in June, so he did it after. It's weird because I thought they graduated in 98, so why is he coming back the next summer to pawn his ring?
Right.
That's weird to me.
So so this was maturity due, date 99.
And obviously
Um,
he had it back at some point 'cause it was found in his car, right?
right. Initial CM $50, fees 8, total due $58, annual percentage. Customer. Okay, so items pawned are only redeemable by the holder of this ticket. Any items pawned are subject to be sold by a pawnbroker when no payment has been made on this account past 30 days. Oh, so he's giving an item to get money.
He's giving, so he's pawning it. He's pawning his ring to the shop to get money back.
Well, right. But they're holding the ring. When he pays the money back,
He gets
he gets the ring back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he does. If not, they keep the ring and resell it, and they lose that money and just make what they sell it for.
That is a really high annual percentage rate.
I was trying to do the math on that though, because it's a really high annual percentage rate, but they're only charging him an $8 fee.
Right. At up front, $8 fee up front. So total is $58, and then annual APR is 194.67.
Oh, so he has to
so
pay.
When he goes to pay it back, he's gonna owe
paying
more.
194% on that. Okay.
Ouch.
So that's the question: does he pay for it, or does someone else pay for it to get it back for him? Interesting. It's just funny because the one thing that you wouldn't really be able to sell for much would be a class ring.
Granted, this loan was only however the loan was only for a month,
which is pretty normal. Usually, like if you pawn something, it's short term to get something to pay for something in the moment, and then you have to come up with that money quickly to pay it back, or else they keep the property.
So he must have paid it back, I guess.
Or somebody else paid it back, or someone else bought the ring after he did not pay it back.
Possibly.
All we know is that he sold his ring at some point, and it showed up in his car on the night he died.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. So
lots of holes in there.
Mm-hmm.
I just still find the 99 thing interesting because I'm like, he graduated in 98, so that means he came back to town the following year, so after 1 year in college, to pawn his ring for a $50 amount. Which is weird to me.
All right. So.
Oh, sorry. What are we doing next?
Oh no, you're good.
I actually looked up the photos and didn't mean to have it right there.
Yeah. So, chat. The next part will be photos. Real quick. So if you are squeamish or if you are triggered by, as far as dead bodies, anything like that, please be aware that is going to be coming
violence because his body has trauma to it.
Correct. So it does show like ligature marks, that sort of thing. So just as a heads up that, we will be looking at those photos here briefly, just as a fair warning. Those are labeled in the Discord as item number 7, corpse photos. So if you go to open up any items within the Discord, just know that that's what that is. All right. So.
Okay, just checking. There's no funky writing on them.
The pictures. Okay.
I had to check.
So we know that he was strangled. So the ligature marks around the neck. Llama, yes. From my understanding is he's the only person with the CM initials.
Mm-hmm.
So ligature marks around the neck, which makes sense from the strangulation. Not sure what's going on with the collarbone there.
Oh, they talked about that in the autopsy report. So it was this. He was clawing himself from trying to get the strangulation to stop.
Well, it's only on the one side.
It was drawn on his autopsy report. They drew these little dash marks to show the nail marks, basically.
Oh, okay.
Here, so these little. Oh yeah, it was only on this side. The curvilinear abrasions, what they are called in the medical terminology.
Okay.
Curvilinear abrasions.
So like nail scratches. Okay.
That's how it was explained when we read this last time. My understanding is they were claw marks from him trying to, which shows he was conscious, but was he debilitated in some way by already being drugged or high or something?
Right, and then we've got the blunt force trauma to the head, which we don't have confirmation on what that weapon was, but we do know that it was a cylindrical in nature blunt force trauma. So we're assuming that it's a bat at this point in time, but they never actually said what it specifically was.
They didn't show the belly boo-boo.
Yeah, they don't have that picture in here, but they do show the head trauma.
Yeah. So let's see if we can see. So we do see the head trauma. Do we see the thumb marks? I guess we do see the thumb marks. Yeah. Thumbprint, contusions, superficial tissue injuries, below thyroid, and cranial bruising.
Oh, I wonder why. I was like, why does this look backwards?
Is it?
Yeah, that's the table down here, so that would be the bottom of the picture. I'm trying to figure out why it looked opposite from the scanned image that I had. So yeah, so there you go. That's what we're looking at. Yeah, so I don't see anything that really stands out in these.
I still think that the nail marks only on the one side is interesting. It makes you wonder, was his other arm pinned somewhere?
Yeah, possibly.
Or what? Because if someone's strangling him, they're not going to make those kind of claw marks. Those are the kind of claw marks you'd make if you were digging at your neck trying to breathe.
Yeah. Thumb marks are the ones on the front of his neck under the thyroid gland. Yeah. So more than likely, or is that over here? I don't know.
I'm trying to think about something. I'm not going to strangle you, but can I touch you for a second? Like, well, I'm just trying to think because normally if you're from behind someone, you're going to strangle on like this.
Right.
And your thumbs are back here. So the only way they could have done it where their thumbs are where they're saying is if they were coming from the front.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a passenger in the car, how do you get that kind of leverage? The only way I could just imagine that actually leverage working very well is if you were doing it through a window.
You saw here first, chat, by the way. If I turn up missing and I was strangled, okay, you just saw the premeditative practicing.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
I just want to see if a girl can
look, I'm telling you right now, chat.
So I cannot get my hands around his neck. So I don't have huge hands, but I don't have tiny hands either. So I cannot fit my hands 100% around your neck to asphyxiate.
You're calling me fat?
Or that my hands are tiny and I have girl hands and that might be a little suspicious. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
all right.
It had to be a male's hands or someone with larger hands in general.
Yeah.
Versus someone with tinier, petiter hands.
All right. Yeah, so from the back, I mean, it would have been different. The thumbs would have been somewhere back on the back of the neck.
Mm-hmm. Based on the autopsy, the person had to be either facing him or off to the side. Yeah. They could not have been strangling him from behind.
Yeah, and so so the driver door was open, but the passenger door was also open, wasn't it?
Driver door was not open, but it was unlocked.
Oh,
it was very clearly marked by Aura that it was unlocked, and she opened it to check on Charlie. But the only door open and left at the scene open was the passenger side, and footprints running away.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't know if there's much more of the photos that are going to be working on anything.
I think that what they're trying to get from this is he fought back in some regard, and the direction he was strangled from. I think that's what we're supposed to gather from it. It's my suspicion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Pretty sad though. Poor guy. His chest hair got shown to the world.
Yeah, blunt. Yeah, so that was the other part, right? So, Magic Michael, there's actually on the autopsy report as well, there is indication of a blunt force trauma to like the lower rib,
abdomen area.
Yeah, lower rib, stomach area. And so, if that's the case, how are you going to strike somebody with a bat, and hit them there if they're in the car, right? So, so there's definitely some
suspicion of a tussle or some type of a fight beforehand.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Speaking of that note, I was rereading somebody's alibi, and only one person said this, but they said that they saw Charlie leave the high school that night of the reunion with somebody else.
Right.
They don't say who, they don't say what.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that say Charlie left with somebody else. No one else saw or said that.
Yeah. So we definitely suspect somebody was in the car with him at some point in time. We don't know what's going on, but yeah. We don't know if it was an affair or, meeting over something about a business. We don't know. Yeah. So, and Magic Michael, I agree. So, all right, so we've got from the website itself, we've got a photo of a blog from Arthur. So called Broadly Finding My Way, One Man's Mission to Understanding Life, Love, and the Pursuit of Fame. Right, yeah, there you go, Llama. See, smoking a J with Buddy. So with that, there was a video as well. We'll pull that video up here in just a second and get that playing. And then I know that Michelle Gray mentioned to maybe assess the audio a little bit better on that. And we'll see what we can do. So in the blog, it's saying, "Greetings once again, artisans. I apologize for my recent absence. The wonderful adventure called life has been bursting with opportunities I couldn't pass up, and this window into my world was briefly put on the back burner. But fear not, over the next few days, I'll be sharing with you all the juicy details you crave, including my recent stint as bar patron number 2 on Street
Oh,
Justice.
that's embarrassing.
On Street Justice Chicago. Spoiler, a certain leading man and self proclaimed liquor aficionado doesn't know the difference between a Glencairn and a snifter. I don't know the difference between those either. So, but that story will have to wait, as I need to run to meet up with some old friends. The fantastic class reunion I've been planning went off without a hitch. With me in charge, that's hardly a surprise. Obviously, Arthur is like from episode 1, we have deemed that Arthur is absolutely full of himself.
And he also thinks he's God gives to humanity in regards to his acting
Correct.
abilities and his stage presence. He thinks he's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of cleaning up right now. Well, actually, my dear friend Aura is cleaning up right now while I type this for you lovely people. But a man has to have his priorities, right?
Oh.
Speaking of which, it's been far too long since I've uploaded a performance. This one is from a few weeks ago. I apologize for my friend's incredibly rude behavior in the video. Some people have no tact, but I believe my performance is strong enough to rise above their prattle. Until next time, Arthur Hughes. Posted at 9:22 p.m. So he posted this at 9:22. Narcissist, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So 9:35 to 9:40 is our time of death. Somewhere in that range. 9:35 to 9:40. So this was posted at 9:22 p.m. And he's saying that it's in his post that it's at the time when him and Aura were supposedly cleaning the that Aura was
the
cleaning.
Gym. He was supposed to be cleaning the cafeteria.
Correct.
But then he also said something about finding a janitor closet all messed up and having to spend some time cleaning that before making it to the restaurant.
Right. So 9:22 p.m. This puts him at the gym, and confirms the cooperation of Aura. I don't know that he could have made it. I mean, he might have been able to make it all the way out there, but I mean, if he was doing that and then was seen after this point, which I feel like it
no
was.
one else said they saw him
other than Aura.
Closet. No, she never saw him.
Well, right, but she said he was at the school though, right?
She knows he was at the school at 9 when she started cleaning the gym. They never recrossed paths. Even Arthur mentioned they never recrossed paths.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, neither of them saw the other person leave.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get this opened up. We said videos was in which one? Where did I put my packet? There it is.
While you're doing that, I was going to actually throw out some. I was just looking up the toxicity level of the diazepam because I was curious.
Okay.
And per the Mayo Clinic, it actually says that its toxicity, toxicity is about 3,000 ng per ml and over. So he was at about. He said it was over 800, but it didn't specify how high.
Okay.
So we don't know if he was fully messed up by it or not. But the other thing it said that I thought was kind of helpful is like it actually said like what you would see here. Let me see. Where it said the here we go. Adverse effects of this drug usually reflects in the sedation, slurred speech, and ataxia or wobbliness walking and awkward walking. Breathing, depression, or arrest may occur with large overdoses or following rapid IV injection. The short-acting version. Basically, if he'd been given like not a hot shot, but like an injection, like they're in the car, it could have made him more incapacitated so quickly that someone could strangle him without much of a fight.
Yeah.
But that the symptoms he would have shown would be sedation, slurred speech, ataxia, and respiratory depression / arrest. My only curiosity is, do you get petechiae or that blood vessel bursting in your eyeballs if you suffocate due to a drug, or is that only if pressure is put on your body?
Well, I mean, pressure was absolutely put on his body.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm wondering if he was already incapacitated and someone strangled him to finish him off, or what?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, Lama. I mean, that would be the case. Right. And like, if only we could, like, okay, I need you to pull cell tower data. I need you to be able to absolutely GPS confirm where he was at.
So this was
That's
taken
not
a
gonna
few
work.
weeks prior. Is that my understanding? This video?
So yes,
sorry,
this is a few weeks prior, correct? Let me fix this real quick. Sorry, chat.
Oh, I'm glowing.
We're very orange because of my lamp that's back here. Our light that's up above was being possessed drastically
the ghost
again.
has announced himself.
I just need to like absolutely just probably replace it, but it was definitely spazzing out on it. So
it flickers and like causes everyone to want to have a seizure.
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
awful.
So yeah, need a bench for it. Exactly. All right. So I'm gonna. I know. Let's see. Let's turn this down. We're gonna turn that off. Actually, I'm gonna do this instead of that way. Let's do it this way. There we go. All right. So we're gonna do this. Let me make sure I turn this up so that I can make sure that we can hear it. And then here we go. We're gonna play this video, and then there's a button that says enhance. So we'll listen to that next. So here you go.
Hey man, what's up?
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes, they're calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the leaves are falling. 'Tis you must go and I abide. But be back when summer's in the meadow.
So there is talking in the background.
Or when the valley is wet with snow.
Oh, I mean, we've definitely talked about this. That
Yes, I will.
he thinks he's good.
In the sunshine, or in the
He was talking about
shadow.
being on Broadway.
Right?
Danny boy, oh
Okay.
Danny boy,
Welcome in.
I love you so.
So sorry to give him this one.
You know, we can take the church.
Right?
Now look, when you count and all the flowers are dying.
Yeah, there's every once in a while you hear guys.
And then I will maybe you'll come
Right, he said, take the church.
at that place where I'm lying, son.
Because,
And you will kneel.
again, narcissist.
You will kneel. You will kneel and say,
To him, this is his best performance he's
will you
ever
go
done.
down? Will you go down on that Don't stop the trap above me, my boy, and over the grave, over my grave, over my grave, over my grave.
Oh, he's going off script. He's going off script. He's ad-libbing this stuff.
Then you will bend, and you'll tell me that you love me, oh son, because I'm gone now, and I shall sleep in peace. I
Yeah.
shall sleep in peace.
Right, this is Arthur Hughes.
Come to me.
Oh, wait.
You have to do it.
Oh, Daddy.
Did you get that? Come on, you got that right? Okay. All right.
So whoever he had filming it probably was making fun of him or talking in the background.
Possibly.
So while this was playing, I just remembered in the yearbook, if you read really closely, it talked at some point about Arthur having to take a different role in Greece because he did a flip that was so adventurous he landed in the audience.
Mm.
And so he got a little hurt, which
That's
is
right.
the understanding of probably why he didn't get the lead or anything like that. But then he kept saying how it worked better for him so he could, quote, work on his character and being funnier or doing something, basically trying to make it seem like he didn't just suck. But yeah, he totally flew into the audience during a very bad acrobatic maneuver.
Right.
During one of the plays.
So yeah, so that was so where we're at in the case right now is we're looking at the online from Michelle Gray's website of being able to look at the video that she had pulled from the blog post of Arthur Hughes, and then Arthur is the one that's the drama person who's was wrote that he would be a star on Broadway and all this stuff. Extremely full of himself and absolutely a narcissist. So I just realized I think it's Renee. Is that what it is? Not Rain. So I hope
or it could be like Ryan.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So apologies if I mispronounced the name a little bit. And then
he wanted to play a comedic side character to test his versatility.
Right. Magic Michael says has all the drugs. Yep. Exactly. All right. So we've got another. We need to enhance that and then be able to listen to the background. So we're gonna try to listen to see what Rayanne. Nice. All right. So we've got the enhanced part, so I think this is where it's going to pull some of the audio from the background. So we'll listen to this and see what we get.
I wonder if it's going to dub it at all.
It's just an audio file.
Hey man, what's up? Are you up there again? Yeah, he has me. My God. I love this song. Hey boy.
Right? Thank God.
Song you make you cry.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna cry.
You alright, man?
No. Oh God.
What's going on?
It's work. It's always work. I love it, but
It's alright. You don't have to talk about it.
no, of course not. I can't. I signed that away.
At the lab?
Yeah, the lab.
Somebody's crying.
Danny boy, Danny boy.
And it sounds drunk.
Well, whatever's up, I'm sure you can handle it. You're like
I'm
one
sure-
of the smartest guys I know.
Style Moon, I think it is.
Listen, it can't be as bleak as it feels.
I don't know. Probably.
And you're doing good work. Important work, right?
I'm sure the patients who are undergoing behavioral testing would agree, even if they can't technically consent.
But I thought they signed up for the study.
Only because they're trying to avoid other tests at any cost. I shouldn't have said that.
I don't.
I shouldn't have said that. Forget it.
I won't
No,
say-
no. Charlie, forget this, please. You have to.
Oh. So he was talking to Charlie.
forget this.
You have to. Is that on?
Oh,
You have to delete that.
Okay. So sounds like whoever was crying or frustrated or whatever was talking to Charlie.
Someone seemed to be having a very tough job, like just
Right.
very,
Something about
very
a
bad
study and that patients not being able to consent,
It's gotta be Gavin.
and something about a study, and that they only did that study because of something with the other, or something about cost or something.
And then Matt Sukos, isn't he like a neuroscientist?
Yeah, it said an NDA.
Yeah, Matt Sukos is a neuroscientist.
Yeah, signed away his right to talk about it. So yeah, probably signed an NDA.
So either Gavin with with the surgeon type thing, or the neuroscientist Nick, if he was doing behavioral psychology or testing
So
of behavioral
Nick,
reactionary function.
or you said Nick or who?
Nick or Gavin.
Nick.
She's talking about the surgeon Gavin. I'm talking about Nick as a neuroscientist, so it could be him as well.
Okay.
Because Gavin doesn't live in town, so why would he be seeing Arthur 2 or 3 weeks before the reunion?
Right.
So Nick lives in town. His parents own the Demetrius restaurant they're all meeting at.
Right.
Yeah, I'm feeling you too, Silent Moon, Nick or Gavin. I agree though, someone medical.
So
And I
yeah,
just
so
can't
this was
imagine
a few
Gavin
weeks
would be a
prior
crybaby
to.
anywhere.
This would be a few weeks prior to. So this would give motive then to, if we think it out of, we narrowed it down to Nick or Gavin, I would say it was Nick then. Just because
Just
of the
based
fact.
on the timeline, I would say it was Nick.
Right.
Yeah. And I just can't imagine Gavin and all his pompous arrogance
Everybody
would
actually-
cry anywhere in public. He's a playboy after all.
Right.
We need.
I just needed this.
Oh, okay.
I forgot I made a copy of it as well. Let's see.
Was there anything else on the website for this episode?
No, there was nothing else on the website for this episode. It was just that.
It's gonna be fun to go back through and really dissect that tape a lot more. So I'm gonna have to listen really hard to see who's who and what's
Yeah.
what.
I think that might be pretty much it for evidence, but let me look on this other page real quick.
He's snoring hard, man.
Yeah, being recorded by a truck. Yeah. So,
Yeah, the photos of the body were Charlie.
yeah.
who
So
got
the one with
Yeah.
the ligature marks and all that stuff, that was Charlie. The one that what you're seeing on screen right now is Arthur Hughes's blog post. So I don't know whose phone was used for the recording. But the video you saw is the video in his blog post that he's saying. So I'm guessing that was on Arthur's phone. So I'm guessing Arthur had Charles use Arthur's phone to
Mhm.
record it.
Yep.
And whoever else was in the video that we were hearing in the background talking to Charles was saying to delete that because he knew that it was recording and he didn't want.
And he didn't know. Like, it sounds like he didn't realize it was recording when he was talking.
Mhm.
But I bet Arthur stopped that quickly.
Yeah, possible as well. There may have been another recording that was being done. But from the way that it is right now, the enhanced audio. So when it was just the audio, that was supposed to be enhanced audio from the video, and so the video being posted on the blog by Arthur from his mobile device, more than likely. Because what he was doing is telling me that it more than likely was Arthur's phone being used to record Arthur doing the splendid and amazing Broadway singing. Just real splendid real splendid song. And yeah, so I think that's what it is. Let me check on here real quick to make sure if there's a. Since we're pretty sure we know who's in that recording, I'm gonna check to see if there's a transcript.
Good call.
Okay, and we also need this page to be able to click our who we're
Yeah.
eliminating as a suspect. So yeah, so we've eliminated Sarah MacDonagh and Aura McBride. Those are the two that we've eliminated so far. Right, exactly, Llama. I mean, you were moved, right? Like, we need to reach out to the record labels, I swear. Okay, we're good there on everything. Is there a... Okay, so we are correct. I don't have, there's not a transcript, but we are correct that that it's Nick. We deduced that correctly. So
It is Nick.
yeah, it
Okay.
is Nick. So we did a very good job of deducing that was Nick. So because I don't have a transcript, but it does have like that we were, or how it breaks down like literally what we did basically, and says that we did. I mean, exactly what we did is how we came to the answer.
Okay.
So, so are you figuring out if there's a coded message on
I know
the
there's a
check?
coded message. There's just no other way. This doesn't make sense. There has to be
All
a
right,
code.
so let's go back to
There's-
tools.
I mean, you can figure out if there is a code while I'm trying to figure out the code. I swear to God, this is the
Do
code.
we want to use the automatic decoder?
Maybe. You want to just type So, like, try this one, because this one's really interesting. Moving with an M, capital M,
Okay.
because has a capital T in it, which I thought was weird.
Okay, so
capital
let me
M.
pull this up so I can type it. Which one are you looking at?
The second one on 11/20/18. It just says moving isn't a product of our time, but M is capitalized, T is capitalized, and a P is capitalized. That seems intentional.
Okay, so let's get this typed in. Moving isn't a product.
Why are not? Let me try a different route one.
Time. So it's showing that decrypted, but it's not anything. Just a bunch of jumbled
Maybe I'm
stuff.
just making it up then. Maybe
No,
there's something
I'm
there.
pretty sure that you're right. There's some kind of coded message in here.
Well, the other thing I was trying to do is maybe 5 means move 5 spots versus 20 means maybe move
Right.
2 or 20
That's very
spots.
possible.
But that's not really working out either. So far, I'm getting like ST, FE. But the moving isn't a product of our time. Like M, T, and P are all caps, but nothing else is. Versus all of this is yours. Only the A is capitalized, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But in the first one, it wasn't outdoor figure skating. All starting words are capitalized. but nothing else is.
Yeah.
Does that seem interesting to you?
Well, and if you're trying to use the amount as your number, then
Mhm.
6,800 would. I mean, how would you move something 6,800 spaces?
That's true. No, and I wasn't trying to do that at first. Again, it was the capitalizations first, but then I was like, well, maybe that's just the wrong direction. I swear
Yeah.
to God, the way this reads, there
There's
is a
gotta be
code.
some kind of clue here somewhere.
Hold on, let me go back to read what she said about the checks. Let's just read. If he ever gets stuck, Michelle Graves' note is the way to go. Let's start over here. Okay.
Yeah.
I singled out a few of the checks and printed out a statement for you to look at. Maybe you can make some sense, SENSE, of the situation. Like, well, actually, hold on. Both times that Charles writes something to Antonio, it's got quotations in it. Return cart here is dumb, and moving isn't a product of our time. But when
So-
Antonio writes it, they're not quotated.
Do we want to look at a hint?
You know me, I'm not going to say no, but at some point we've got to give in, I guess.
Okay, so let's look at hint number one. So hint number one for the bank statement is see if there are any clues as to how to read the coded messages on the checks.
That's not helpful.
No,
For real?
that's
Why
not
do we try to do that? Thank you.
right.
Why didn't we think of that?
Hint number two. It's the only
Hang on,
other hint
let me-
for the bank statement.
Before you do that, can I try this? So when Michelle says the word make sense of some things, I feel like that's a pun or something very like intentionally stated in a certain way.
Right.
That means, according to the definition, be easy to understand, to make, have a clear meaning.
All right, let's get these checks pulled up. What that?
Maybe it's there's
There we
a
go.
1 day difference between these two dates, and there's 5 days difference between the next two dates, and there's 2 days different between the next two dates, so 152. Do you think
You know, so
we shift letters by something?
yeah, possibly.
Garbage. I feel like there's got to
Could
be
possibly
something with
a
the check
shift.
numbers.
Maybe
There-
it's
the numbers.
yeah.
Wait, only these two. 431 versus 341. They have the same numbers, just different order.
Okay.
But these two don't.
Okay.
But 341, 431.
Okay. Maybe those numbers add up to something. Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
So what is
I just thought it was interesting that
so
the check he
4,
wrote,
that's
he found
7,
the
so
exact same
8.
combination of
So
numbers.
maybe something with 8.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that he wrote a check and then he found a check with the same numbers, just in a different order, back
Mhm.
to him. I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Right, exactly, Llama. So let's see if I'm gonna go ahead and open up hint number 2.
Okay. You know, I hate it when
So,
I can't figure it out. It's absolutely
The
maddening.
dates on the checks progress in chronological order, but the check numbers seem to change randomly. That's hint number 2. So it has something to do with the check numbers.
I just said that.
So glad these
Cool.
hints are so helpful.
All right, hold on. Let me see if 341, like if I go every third letter or something. 1, 2, 3, so it'll be a T. 1, 2, or not every third letter. It'll be so like 3, so 1, 2, 3, so it'll be a T, and then it'd be 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'll be a C, and then 1, so it'll be an A, and 1, 2, 3, so it'll be an H. 4 would be an I. So far, I'm not too good at this one. Are you making fun of me right now?
No, I'm laughing. It's almost like every hint is something we already know.
Yeah, it's like.
But you know what? That's a good
fine.
thing, right? So that means that we're figuring it out and don't really need the hint, right? So we're getting there. It's just I think this check thing is going to be a little hard to figure out.
Well, we don't technically have to figure it out for this section, I don't think. So we can toy around with it for next time unless you want to actually figure it out. I
Right.
want to figure this out because it's driving me nuts. But the reason that she says sense makes me think it has something to do with the financial numbers. Why would she say the word sense, which would normally translate as like CENTS, but she's saying SENSE, Why would she say that if it didn't have something to do with the
Oh.
numbers?
Magic Michael might be on something.
What?
So, like, 3, 4, 1. Oh, wait. Here is so like yeah. So this check, if you put so third word here, fourth word is, first word return. Here is return.
Okay. How about the next one? How does it play out then?
4, 3, 1. So is this all?
Oh, I think we're on to something now. I think someone else might have cracked it wide open for us.
Right, Magic Michael. I think you got it.
4, 2, 1. So moving isn't a product. So product
So 4, 2, 1. Yeah. So product
isn't. Oh yeah.
moving.
And then finally 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Figure.
5, 1, 3. Yep. So figure it out.
I think he solved it.
There you go. See, this is why we need you, chat.
Here
If you're
is
watching this on
return.
YouTube, this is why we need you when we're doing these live and filming these live. All right.
So here is
we can't
return,
we can't
meaning-
do this without the rest of the investigators.
But here is return, meaning like here's what we've made off the last batch. Here is return. Is this
Yeah,
all,
possibly,
like not enough money.
yeah,
Product isn't moving. That's all I've got.
yeah,
And then finally figure it out. Get more money. Dang it.
yeah.
Figure out why it's not moving and fix it. Maybe.
So it sounds like Arthur,
Thank
or no, sorry, Antonio
Mhm.
was the dealer, and Charles was the supplier.
Sounds, yeah. I mean that's how
Right?
it sounded in school too. I mean.
Or
the
no,
biz-
sorry, hold on, I had that backwards. Sorry,
Charlie supplies Anthony. Dean,
Charlie.
right?
Charlie is the one though, but right. But why would Charlie pay? Oh no, Antonio. I had it right
Antonio's
the first
paying
time.
Charlie. Yeah.
Never mind, I had it right the first time.
Antonio's
Antonio
getting the
paid
money
Charlie
for selling the drugs
for
and paying
selling
Charlie
it,
for it.
and Charlie is probably supplying the
Yes.
product.
Charlie gets the access.
Yeah, so
and
return on
Antonio sells the
investment,
product.
So
Yeah,
the
here's return.
ROI. All
So I
right.
feel like he's probably selling it through his record shop. I mean, how many record shops did you pass back in the 90s that you would jokingly never go into because usually a bunch of people were in there smoking weed?
Right.
Like, it was just known that you don't go into those places unless you're part of that group, club, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 in Lafayette. Cool.
Right. So we now know that, and so Antonio and Charlie were good friends because now
Well-
we've got.
We know that from here.
Well,
in a
right.
town full of phonies, you're the only one who keeps it real. So it sounds like they understood each other on a level no one else did. He's calling the whole
So
town fake and loserish and phony, but Charlie's real.
so this message up here.
Yeah.
That's probably Antonio then.
That's what I've been saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep the biz running while you're
Yeah.
away. Charlie went to college. Anthony did not. He stayed in town, from what we know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been my theory.
So so let's look at, I guess, let's wrap it up a little bit here.
What if their drug company was named Thorn?
Maybe.
Okay, so here's the question: have we found any piece of evidence that absolutely proves Arthur didn't kill anyone tonight?
So that's what I'm trying to figure out
922
is,
to me is not convincing.
I mean, what, Michael, you said it was how far approximately? I think you said something about, let me scroll up here in the
Because
chat.
we don't know that he posted it from the school. He's saying he did, but we don't have any proof of that, do we? We don't
I
have a GPS
mean-
location of him being at that school.
I mean, technically, no.
And Aura never saw him again. Hold on,
Well,
let's
let's
look at
pull
his alibi.
yeah, let's pull up Aura's alibi.
Or that one. Okay.
Yeah, pull up her witness statement where she talks about Arthur.
I volunteered to help Artie clean up after the reunion ended. I took care of the gym, and he cleaned the cafeteria across the hall. I finished up after 9:45. I was going to head to Dimitri's, but I saw I missed a call from Susan. I tried to call her back. She did not answer. She wouldn't call for any reason, blah, 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 stepped out, drove to clinic, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So she never saw him after they split to start cleaning.
Okay.
And then under Arthur, when he, not testifies, but you get the whole point.
Yeah.
Aura
his witness
volunteered to
statement.
stick around and help me put the tables away. I assume she did so, but I was mostly straightening up the cafeteria and ensuring all the fundraising money was properly accounted for. so I didn't see much of her. As I was about to leave, I noticed the custodial closet was ajar. I took a quick peek inside, only to see it was in utter disarray. I did my best to pick things up, but now I'll have to apologize to Mr. Fitzpatrick on Monday morning for how inconsiderate my fellow alumni were to his workstation.
What?
Somebody drugged Charlie at the reunion, and they were the one driving his car away, and he was actually already incapacitated.
Possible. What was found in the? What did he say?
He just said that the closet was in an utter disarray.
Right, but what was your aha moment that you just had? You read something and then went.
That
and
was literally maybe somebody drugged Charlie or got him really like.
Right, but what in here made
up.
you realize that?
Custodial closet ajar. Have to apologize for Monday. Like, I was connecting the dot with the custodial closet, which I've known for a few weeks now. Connecting the dot that it was in utter disarray, so maybe someone parked Charlie there.
Oh,
well, he got his vehicle and drug him out while the party was still going on.
That's
and they had to leave
that's
it in
what
a
I was
mess.
trying to figure out. Was I was missing your train
connection.
in between the closet and Charlie.
I just feel like with Arthur mentioning that, something about that closet matters. Like,
Right.
there's something about that matters. But there was one other
Yes,
thing that was
a jar filled with dirt.
I've got a jar of dirt. I've got a jar of dirt. Sorry.
All right.
So the only other thing I was also thinking was someone said something very specific about Arthur, that it took him forever to show up to the reunion with the Dimitri's thing. But under his mentality, he cleaned up the closet really quickly and he showed up and he was totally on time.
Mm-hmm.
But like per everyone else's testimony, that's not the case.
Do we
like,
know what
Arthur
time
was
he-
super late.
Yeah, he was super late.
I think it was Robin that said the order of everybody the best. Okay, so I got to Dimitri's about 10:10. Gavin came after me, then Nita, then Nick, which was really late. Oh no, it was Antonio that said something about Arthur. Just kidding, sorry. I left the reunion about 9, maybe a little after, was in parking lot for a bit. I saw Charlie drive off with someone, but I don't know for sure. I arrived at the diner early. I was one of the first ones there. I wanted to catch up with everyone before I brought food home for Louie. Even Artie didn't show up for a while.
Okay.
But according to Artie, he showed up on time.
Right.
So how did he show up on time and then not show up for a while if Antonio was just slightly early?
Okay. So we got
That's a
a little
classic
bit of an
contradiction.
issue there.
Yeah. And nobody saw him. No one can prove he was at the school like he says he was. He could have just made up the closet. The
Right.
closet wasn't a mess, and that was just an excuse for him to be a little late, you know? So, I don't know. Antonio's not off the hook because he's probably a dealer with Charlie. I don't feel like anything in this episode has left anyone off the hook. Does anyone else? Is anyone else ruling someone out right now?
I mean, I don't know
I mean, Nick is
anybody right now.
devastated, but I don't feel like Nick is the bad guy. Like, I don't know for sure he's a killer. I mean, he seems very devastated and emotional in that video, but
Do we want to check our finalization of the toxicology of what we deemed from the toxicology?
all I can tell is that based on the numbers, he wasn't so intoxicated that it was completely rendering him unconscious. Like, there wasn't enough in his system to kill him fully or incapacitate him entirely, is my understanding.
Oh, okay. So
what did I miss?
No, nothing.
Okay.
So
No, it's a few weeks prior Silent Moon. From what Arthur describes, he posted that video a few weeks before the death.
yeah,
Like, it was taken a few weeks before the death, and he posted the video online the night Charlie died.
Yeah, if you look at the blog image,
It should
so
look like this.
that's in the Discord. Yeah, it'll look like
Sorry.
that.
can see it
That if you read that, he'll tell you that it was the video. I think was from like a few
Mm-hmm.
weeks ago. Is the way he phrases it.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So Nick is definitely kind of sus with the way that he's talking to Charlie.
Well, something tells me that in DA, he's probably being forced to do experiments he doesn't believe in, or that he finds it sketchy
Right.
and wants to out this company, but he
Which
can't squeal.
so technically that's motive, right? Like where if Nick thinks that if Charlie says something that now Nick's livelihood is going to be on the line, that's motive that Nick might want to do something.
Maybe.
So I don't feel that he's ruled out.
No, he wasn't
There's
ruled out.
nothing for an alibi that proves that he wasn't
I just
there.
don't feel like anything has shown means, motive, and opportunity have not happened for somebody. Like this
Well,
episode,
right.
we've
So
not
we
gotten
will
out
find
anybody.
we won't find anybody guilty, But right now, what we need to find
But we can't
is
find out anyone's innocent either. Like, we're not seeing anything for today that shows any innocent.
right. So we just need to make sure. We just need to figure out the alibi of who has the best
So
alibi.
what?
So let me look.
Hold
Let
on.
me
What did I
read.
miss on this? You never clarified what I
Right.
missed.
I know.
on
That's
this.
what I was getting ready to read.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Charlie's body was found with. This is the toxicology report. So this is us verifying that where we were at and when the choices or what we determined from it is what we should have determined. So the benzodiazepines in his blood, specifically a high but non-fatal volume of diazepam
Okay.
and a lower volume of its metabolite. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Whatever the other one is.
Your dad's
The
fine.
amount of that indicates that the diazepam is early in the metabolic transformation stage,
Okay.
showing that Charlie had taken the drug not too long before his death. The
So
presence
my
of
theory is
alcohol in
that
his bloodstream shows that he was also intoxicated at the time of his death, which would have interacted with the diazepam and likely intensified its effects. So all of that we were right on.
Okay.
The only little extra bit that we got
Is
is
the
the metabolic rate of it. And so
my theory of him being drugged at the school is less likely. It was probably given to him very shortly before.
probably. Well, so that's yeah. So Llama, so that's the thing, right? If it was, or who knows?
Was
Like
there
I
any
don't.
drinks found in the car? Was there any containers or cups or drinks found in the car? On that.
As of right
evidence
now,
list?
do we want to look up the evidence list?
Well, she gave us the whole evidence
Yeah.
list, right? We just don't have the details, but we do know what was found where. I'm curious. Was there a cup or a bottle or a
let's
drink
see.
of some kind?
Mint 10, we already got. Socks, we got. So there was a gift bag, there was a beanie hat, there was
Ooh.
a toy doll.
The gift bag could have had alcohol.
There was a plastic comb, there was spearmint gum, a car freshener, and a lighter.
Oh, I like where you're going with that. All right. Yeah, maybe that's where. Yes, they're
Yep.
saying that might be where the weapon came from.
Oh, the janitor's closet,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
lots of
I like
technical
that.
objects in the janitor's closet, yeah.
True. Yeah.
So, okay, so he seems slightly paranoid in the video due to him talking about stuff he was not supposed to, and the NDA didn't like his tone when he said that he needed to, yeah. So, and then Magic Michael, or he was there but not inside where everyone was congregated. So some people may have seen him passing, but not at the actual event. Yeah.
Can you clarify really quick? Who was Nick talking to in the video? Was it Charlie
Charles.
or someone else? It was Charlie. He was talking.
Yeah,
to
he was
okay.
talking. Yeah, because he calls him out.
Okay.
So at first
I was
we
trying
thought
so
it
hard to
may have
listen.
been Charles breaking down, and
Oh,
then the person in having the breakdown called the other person Charles. So
Right. Okay. 'Cause, yeah, we
Um,
thought Charles would have been crying about the whole pharmacy fiasco with Susan.
yeah,
That was what we
or
were led to
something.
believe
Yeah.
originally
So
prior to figuring that out. Yeah. So no cup or anything like that. No bottle
No.
of tainted stuff. Okay, that's what I was curious.
no.
on.
So we've got so far. I think the only thing that's even remotely close to ruling anyone out is the blog post.
Which
In
is
all
really-
honesty,
you're
I
right.
know that there's
That's a
some
pretty
holes with it,
sketch.
but
Yeah.
9:22 he posted it. Now, if he posted it from a mobile
That's
device,
20 minutes before Charlie died.
the Llama, this is the part, right? Like what I just talked about earlier about a different
Jumping
case, right?
into
That
conclusions.
part of me goes like, okay, if it was posted from a mobile device, he could have posted it from anywhere.
Yeah.
He could have uploaded that
He
from
could have
the
literally
car.
uploaded it from the killing site.
You know, if nothing is corroborating that he was at he was at the high school, but nothing's saying that they
See, part of
continuously
me-
saw him there the entire time.
Part of me always thought Arthur was a little jealous of Charlie, like Charlie's success. Arthur's like was supposed to be a Broadway star, and he's a high school history teacher.
Right.
Like he's embarrassed. Even he says in his class reunion thing, what does he say about himself? Chasing his dreams of being on stage, he moved to NYC, and it was a whirlwind with roles coming and going in an ever-weaving tapestry of life. Not all great things last, however, and his attention soon turned home. He found his true bliss in passing on his experience to the next generation.
Right.
Which is basically him saying, I'm a washed-up actor and desperate for a job, and I had to settle and suffer accordingly.
Right.
But I'm still a hero in my own narrative.
We haven't had any documents with any emails, right?
The only email was the one with the Susan Charlie effing up situation,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Miss Henderson's pig,
Yeah.
Mr. Flufferton.
I was just trying to think of stuff like, 'cause that Mallory Rock one where we were able to email
Oh yeah,
and
no.
get extra information. So,
We've already checked the two things on there as far as the Well, so Nita's not even mentioned.
yeah,
So,
I agree silently.
how about this? Let's do process of elimination. They don't even mention Nita this episode at all.
Right.
So we find nothing new about her to rule her in or out. So I think she's out
You have
for
the
the day.
list of people because I don't remember everybody.
I do.
Where's the picture?
Susan?
What's on the front?
Do we have a picture? I don't think I have.
Well, not a picture. I just need the names.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Susan, they don't talk about. We haven't gotten anything new more about her to exonerate her in or out. So I'd say she's out. So I think our decision today is between Antonio, Nick. I don't really even feel like they mentioned Gavin, so I don't think he's an option either. Or Arthur. So I think we're looking at Antonio, Nick, or Arthur. One of those three is supposed to be eliminated this episode, but why?
Right. So, and we don't have anything time-wise for Nick or Antonio.
Hold on. For that night,
Correct.
Nick basically said he went to drink and showed up late for his
Sorry.
parents' thing.
Proof. Not just their word.
Sorry.
Like, what proof do we have that goes with their witness statement?
Well, Nick said he was really late because he was at a bar. Everyone corroborates he came really, really late.
Right.
And as for Arthur, he swears he was on time, but other people say he was also very, very late.
Right.
But Robin, interestingly enough, doesn't mention him at all. She mentions Gavin coming in, all these other people coming in, but doesn't mention Arthur. So do we have to infer from that that Arthur was there before Robin because she doesn't specify anything about
Possibly.
him? If that's the case, he would have been there by 10:10. Or, yeah, 10:10.
Right.
Which would mean that he probably would not be
Yeah,
expected.
so, but it happened at between 9:35 and 9:40.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm looking at is if he posted this at 9:22, so you're thinking that as well that he could have passed out, hit something real hard, so someone moves him to the car because they thought that he was dead. Charlie wakes up in the car, so they have to strangle him.
But he was in the driver's seat, which is the part I don't like about that idea. If he'd been in the passenger. Well, I guess he could have gotten strangled in the passenger seat and then moved.
And then moved, yeah.
Wasn't there mentioning about the mirror being askew?
Yeah, mirror
Something like
was
that, like a
found.
struggle
Yeah,
or
so it was some
something.
kind of struggle,
Yeah.
or maybe while they were trying to move him.
Ooh. Oh, I missed that. They actually did find his DNA under his own fingernails, so that makes sense on the scratching.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Injury to the
so
head suggests light blunt force, abdomen. So the abdominal injury was the blunt rounded object,
Right.
not the head.
So yeah,
Mhm.
DUI would have been how they would have got away with it. Yeah, like as if yeah.
The person strangling him didn't just fully squeeze. They found his carotids and pushed in.
Okay.
That takes no amount of strength whatsoever. As long as he's not fighting back, anyone, if they know where they're going, can push on the carotids.
Right.
That makes Nick look a lot more suspicious. Or Gavin. Both of them would have medical knowledge, scientist, plastic surgeon.
So the only thing, Magic Michael, is that it appears that he took the diazepam shortly before his death, because they said that the other level that was on the toxicology report indicates that the diazepam hadn't had time to really fully go into effect.
It was
However,
still early in the absorption process.
yeah, it was still early in the absorption process. However, mixed with alcohol, it intensifies the effect of the drug.
Which would make sense that he was more tired or more unable to
No
react and
indications of any needle marks on the autopsy, so my guess is that it was in pill form. So that could be the pill, the diazepam, because remember, Arthur is having a lot of scripts filled, but his refill is not going down. So maybe that's how then Charles was getting the pills to get to Antonio to sell.
What part?
Where Arthur's script
Oh,
log
right, yeah.
doesn't match up because it says that something was filled, but yet
So maybe
his
they were all
refills
three in it
left was
together, is what you're saying.
4,
Yeah.
and then it shows expired.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is that maybe it was diazepam.
Mm-hmm.
that was what Antonio and Charlie were pushing.
Right. That makes sense.
Uh,
And so it would have been Antonio, Charlie, and Arthur all in on it.
so I don't think that Antonio, as of right now, I don't think that Antonio would have. I don't see any
Yeah.
motive
Yeah.
that Antonio would have killed Charlie.
Well, if he was
However,
cheating
I
and
don't
scraping
have
off the money off the top of the pot.
possibly, but
Yeah.
but as of
We
right
don't
now,
have any evidence
there's
to
no
prove it, yeah.
evidence to show. And on top of that, Charlie is his supplier.
Right.
So if you kill your supplier, even if you are scraping, so here's the thing.
Basically, he could have been taking from like Charlie's income. Basically, he could
Well,
have-
right, but then Charlie would want to kill Antonio.
if he found out, unless
Right.
Antonio was trying to cover up the crime first and hide his deception
By
taking
killing
out
by
Charlie.
killing his supplier,
potentially.
so he doesn't get killed.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
if you're ripping off your gangster boss,
Right.
you better be well ready to kill him before he finds out you've done that, or you're dead in
Yeah.
cement shoes on the bottom of an ocean.
Possibly. Well, so Arthur, I don't know if I don't think Arthur was even aware. I'm guessing that Arthur. I don't know that Arthur was a part of the scheme.
I have something new to add.
Okay.
So, from Nicholas's last alibi statement, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it, from the last episode, he brings up that he actually was with Artie and Charlie earlier the day of the reunion, before the reunion.
Okay.
So I had a good time at the party. It was nice to see everyone again. I mean, not everyone, not that I wasn't happy to see people, but I had just seen Artie and Charlie a little while ago because they live in town.
Right.
I was more happy to see the people who don't live here. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I'm not being clear again. I wanted to talk to Charlie about something important. No, nothing major. It was a personal thing. I think this goes back to that video.
Correct.
Anyway, during the party, it did not seem like a good time. I tried to catch him after, but he was already gone. I knew I would see him at my parents' the taverna. I wasn't too worried, but I didn't feel like talking to my mother while waiting on him, so I went to a bar instead. I had a drink and then went over. Most of the others were there, but not Charlie. We waited, but he never showed up.
Okay.
So we finally know what he wanted to talk to Charlie about. I'm betting
Right.
it was about what was on that video.
Yep.
That he was really afraid of Charlie saying something to somebody and him not getting in trouble.
So I'm wondering if he saw Arthur's blog post. If he saw Arthur's blog post,
But
he would have known that Charlie didn't delete the video like he asked,
the only
and now
question
the
to
evidence
that-
is out there.
My only argument to that is he keeps mentioning he wants to talk to Charlie during the reunion. That post wasn't done until after the reunion at 9:22.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
That's my only catch-22
Yep.
on that one.
So then he probably just wanted to talk to him about it to make sure that he didn't say anything.
I'm
or
actually
whatever.
afraid that we're supposed to rule out Arthur, and the 922 thing is telling us that he was innocent at the school, even though I find that complete and total BS.
Right.
I'm afraid that's the direction we're
So
supposed to
I don't know, and so that's the thing, right? So there's a little bit of a holes with it. So Llama, I need you to get that warrant and search the cell, okay?
Mhm.
I need you to get the cell tower like locations, triangulate it,
Well, let
everything.
me read.
Okay?
Let me read Antonio's.
but
Let me read
let me look at
Antonio's
this
statement one more time.
So we've got. Hopefully this chair isn't in the way. Let's switch over to. Is this the one that I want?
So
Yes.
I just thought of
Okay.
something kind of interesting. Antonio's looking pretty suspicious because he's the only one that can give himself an alibi. At no point does anyone else place him at the restaurant besides himself. They
Right.
say he showed up there super early, and no one else can place him there because they didn't show up yet.
Right.
So technically, he would have had plenty of time to do the
Okay.
crime.
Llama, I want to know where Arthur's phone triangulated to at 9:22 p.m. on the date of Charlie's death. There you go. That's specific. So because I want to know where he posted that from, right? But so the school is up here, all the way at the top of this map. And the location that Charlie was found is all the way down here. So, what? It doesn't mention whose statement said that they saw Charlie leave. Do we know, was there which statement talked about
Charlie leaving the parking lot with
Yeah.
somebody else?
Yeah.
Antonio.
Antonio? Okay. Does it mention about that what time that was?
What he clearly says is that he sat in the car outside the school for a little bit, not long, but a little bit.
Is there any timeline mentioned?
I left the reunion at 9, maybe a little after. I was in the parking lot for a bit. I thought I saw Charlie drive away with someone, but I don't know for sure. I then arrived at the
Okay.
dinner early.
That right there is, I think, what corroborates the 922. So if we want to play devil's advocate and say that right, Llama?
What
So
corroborates
if
the 922 time? I don't
so
get it.
922 is when Arthur posted that blog.
Right.
So the whole point that we're making is that we don't know. Technically speaking, there's still a hole that we don't know where he posted that from.
Right.
But if he was in the gym, or not in the gym, but in the school.
Mhm.
Sorry, in the school, not in the gym, in
Mhm.
the school. Or pinpointed him there.
At one point, she never saw him again.
Correct.
She makes
What
it
time?
very
What time
clear.
did she pinpoint him there?
9.
9.
They
Okay.
never saw each other again
Correct.
after that.
So then at 9:22, he's posting the blog post
Supposedly from
and
school.
supposedly saying that he's in there and everything else.
Yeah.
and
Which, if
then
he did
somebody
find the
else
closet and then
saw-
go to Dimitri's, it would make sense.
Everybody
now.
else saw Charlie. Well, not everybody else. One other person saw Charlie leave, supposedly with somebody.
Yes. Only
So
Antonio
I think
saw
that right, correct. But I think that corroborates that Arthur Hughes was still in the school at 9:22, posting.
I mean, how does that corroborate that? I mean, Arthur could have been the one in the car with Charles. No one says otherwise. Like, we don't
Right,
know.
I know. I think that's going to be the loophole, and that's going to be a part that we're going to.
But I do think what they're trying to tell us is Arthur's innocent, even though I'm just really struggling to believe
Correct.
that based on what we have.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, the biggest hole right now is that we have no proof that he actually posted that.
I just
We have to go off of
honestly,
his word.
from all the evidence I'm seeing, the one that has the best motive right now after this episode is Antonio.
Correct.
And it's because he's not moving the product and Charlie's telling him to get it figured out. So
Okay.
to me, something there money-wise, Charlie's not happy with the amount, something's not adding up, he's calling Antonio on it.
Mhm.
They're really, really good friends, but money can really kill friendships pretty darn quickly, especially when someone's
I'm-
flipping someone else
I'm
off.
honestly at this point so far. I mean, we haven't heard a lot about Robin. Or more information about Susan or Nita
I was
or
team
Gavin.
Antonio, like, in the positive before tonight. Now I'm
Yeah.
really starting to doubt him.
I'm suspecting Nick at this point from that audio, and because
Yeah,
he
I
has
just-
clear motive of like. So here's the thing with Antonio. Yeah, okay, maybe he was skimming off the top, but we don't know that. There's nothing as of right now. Nothing says that.
The checks could say that. If you read through the lines, they could say that.
Well, he's saying the product's not moving, and Charlie's saying
That could be
figure it
his
out.
excuse
Right.
of why the money's low.
Right, but we have nothing that can pinpoint otherwise.
Right.
So
But we don't have
whereas
anything that
with
pinpoints on anyone else either.
Nick, so the video with Nick getting upset, and then admitting
He doesn't sound that aggressive to me. He just
No, no,
sounds
no.
devastated and terrified.
correct but then at the end he said I shouldn't have said that, and he panics.
Right.
Correct. So he
Because he
panics
could
and he said you need to
legally
delete
or
that. You need to
physically-
delete that.
I mean, if he's dealing with like something beyond just a corporation, they can come after him and kill him. You don't know.
Correct.
You don't know who he's in with, so that's very legit to be that
Right.
scared.
Right. So now
So why would he go after Charlie about that? That's weird.
because Charlie knows.
Yeah, but
Charlie knows.
openly
Charlie
admitting
knows the
something that's
secret.
slightly scary and then killing someone that you told by accident is a little bit of a stretch for me with motive.
If he thinks that Charlie's going to say something, or if he thinks that Charlie told somebody, or if he's worried about it getting out and is now stressing out.
I'm just not convinced. It's a big jump to go
So-
from "oops, I said this, don't rat me out" to
Yeah.
murder.
So I think on this case though, I think we're narrowing it down to Arthur, right? So like I don't think obviously this
we're
is only
narrowing down to
episode
rule
3.
out Arthur's what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't like it, but I agree. I just honestly,
So-
Arthur's been the one most jealous of Charlie this entire
Chat,
time.
do you agree that do you agree that you think Arthur is good to be eliminated from the suspect pool?
I think that's what they're trying to get at. I just don't agree with it.
So, because I know that yes, there's one hole, which is that we have to go off of his word if we're going to say that he posted that from the school. But technically, he could have lied in his post about what he's doing right now. However, in all honesty, I don't think
he's
Arthur
very
is
full of
smart
himself,
enough
but I
to
don't,
do
yeah.
that.
He's very full of himself, but I don't think he's
And
quite
that's-
a manipulating criminal. He's too obliviously full of himself to think of anything but himself.
That right there is the reason why I think that his blog is truthful. Him being so full of himself, him saying things like that.
I feel like his online
That,
persona
well,
is his whole
I
world.
supposed to be cleaning, but
Yeah.
this is more important.
I feel-
Me telling you about my life is more
It just
important.
feels like his online persona and his real persona are combined. Like he only
Correct.
knows the identity he presents to the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that I feel that his blog is
And the
truthful.
pursuit of fame.
And so if he posted at 9:22 p.m.,
So
I don't feel that he then had enough time to, and also too, I'm also suspecting then that Charlie left before he posted this.
yeah, that would make sense.
If it was a little after
Well,
9,
the whole idea is everyone was supposed to leave at 9 because that's when it ended, so they could
Correct.
clean up. You
And
can't clean
so-
up if people are hanging out in the gym.
Right.
They
and so
can't if they're hanging out in
Antonio
the
claims that
cafeteria.
he saw Charlie leave
Yeah.
with someone shortly after. That if that's the truth, then
And that could still
yeah.
be anybody, and that's still one person. We
That
don't
could
have
be
the
Antonio
corroboration.
lying. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
So the I mean, chat. What I mean, do you think that? What is your thoughts, chat? Like, what do you feel that Arthur is who we should
I
rule
think
out?
Arthur's deluded because he keeps talking about how perfect it went, but then he also complains about all these little hiccups that happened
Mhm.
thanks to Gavin. Arthur's got such a grudge against Gavin, like it's so
Correct.
obvious.
So
What is a Glenn? A snifter.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look
I
it up.
I mean I've heard of a snifter. I haven't heard
I'd
of
say
the other
let's
thing.
vote on Arthur, and if we're wrong, she'll tell us we're wrong, and we regroup and re-argue. Because we're gonna have to figure out at some point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Out of all of what we've been presented tonight, I feel like their goal was to get us to eliminate Arthur. End of
Yeah.
story. Unfortunately, none of the women were
So-
presented tonight, so it's between those three guys.
This is what we've got.
It's
So
the same bow tie. I think it's the same bow tie he's wearing in this one too.
all right, so I think that's what we've got done. I think we've got it narrowed down to Arthur, and I think that's well, so that's what we're trying to ask chat llama is what do you all agree with us that so we just talked about with Arthur that the blog post that I mean Arthur is a narcissist at this. I mean that's what I'm going to call him. He's completely full of himself. He's proud to, I mean, in his blog, like it matches up. I mean, it would be like him to be proud of the fact that he's not cleaning and instead, you know, I have to tell you about my life because that's more important than helping this other person. So I
that you
feel
roped into helping you.
right, and
So
so right,
arrogant.
so I feel that his blog post
Mhm.
is indeed authentic when he's saying that he's at the school in that moment. And I don't feel that there was enough time between 9:22 p.m. and 9:35 p.m. for him to do anything. Because as well, I feel that under Antonio's statement, he states that he saw Charlie leave with someone shortly after 9. So that would put that Charlie left ahead of time. So there would have had to been other tire tracks, and there were no other tire tracks out at the site.
I don't understand what you mean by other tire tracks. They left in the same vehicle together. There wouldn't be two sets of tire tracks.
Well, right, but what I'm saying though is if it was him and he didn't leave in the same vehicle, he would have had to drive out there separately. There would have been another set of tire tracks. If it was Arthur,
Yeah.
because if we're saying that Charlie left before Arthur left, and I'm trying to rule out the timeline, so 9:22 p.m. I don't feel that there
So
would
you're
have been
saying
enough
Charlie,
time.
or not Charlie, you're saying Arthur was in the school building at 9:22, end of story.
Correct.
And by that logic, since Charlie had already left, he couldn't have been in the car with Charlie. That's what we're ruling
Correct.
out.
So, and then if you want to say, then, well, he still could have left and made it to the site in time,
Mhm.
there would have been other tire tracks, and there weren't. So, I don't feel that Arthur had done it. So, Magic Michael, so I don't think, or sorry, Silent Moon, I don't think that Artie knows about that.
What?
I'm suspecting that Artie doesn't. I think Artie is the fall, like what Magic Michael said,
So they're using
that he's the
his
fall
name for a
guy.
script.
But they're using his name because maybe he is indeed prescribed that. But maybe the reason why the refills aren't changing is because they're just making it look like he's getting his script, so that's where then all those extras.
He's getting his legit script, but they're also using extra of his name for themselves.
Correct, and then
I
that's how they're
follow you.
getting the drug, and then
Yep.
well, that's how how Charles was getting the drug.
Mhm.
He gives it to Antonio. Antonio sells it.
So basically, Arthur could be buying his own drug and having no idea all this other stuff is happening.
Correct.
And you know what? That would make total sense because Arthur's script that we saw has 6 refills versus the ones in the computer all have 4.
Correct.
So one of those two is not like the other. So like
Right.
either way, yeah, no.
Or it could just be that script
Mm-hmm.
could have absolutely been falsified,
Mhm.
right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
so
Either
Artie
the
could
one in
have-
the computer are false, or that one written is false. Obviously,
Right.
they don't match.
Artie-
6 refills and the 4 refills don't match.
Artie may not even know his name's getting used
Right.
in there at all. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
All I was saying is that the scripts in the statement that have 4 refills all the time don't match the one that has
Correct.
6 refills. So obviously, one is not like the other, regardless of which one's the real one and which one's the fake one.
Right.
They don't match. Your doctor's not going to give you 4 refills all the time, then all of a sudden switch it up to 6 refills all the time. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Your doctor usually is going to do something routinely and not budge from that. So him getting 4 refills in the computer all the time, but then having a script with 6 refills, that's sketchy.
Yeah.
At best.
So Llama, that statement there is what my logic for Antonio of why I don't think Antonio killed Charles is because if you are trying to skim off the top or whatever, still though your money's coming from your supplier, so like you wouldn't, like you said, bite the hand that feeds you. So yeah. So I'm thinking Arthur. So it sounds like chat and everybody is in agreement that Arthur can be eliminated as a suspect. So I am going to click that now, and we're going to see if that is correct. We are 100% correct. So as of right now, let me move this over here so y'all can see it. All right, so motive. So Arthur has no clear motive for murder. He was frank and candid in his witness statement, which lends to his credibility. Even though he misled the investigator by making it seem as if he was more helpful with the cleaning of the cafeteria than the timing of the upload to his blog proves. So means, while Arthur once had a prescription for the drug used to incapacitate Charlie, he has not been the one using his diazepam refills. Someone else with access to diazepam, either from Arthur's expired prescription or through their own means, is more likely to have drugged Charlie. These facts are confirmed by the prescription from episode 2, toxicology report, the pharmacy ledger, and the drug test survey. Arthur said in that drug test survey, Arthur said he had not been on medication for some time and was willing to be drug tested to support that fact. So we did miss that part.
So maybe he'd stop.
So we did miss that connection. We read it, but we didn't make that connection.
That was so long ago.
Yeah. So they're refilling an expired script to get the drugs.
It is interesting because that drug is
Arthur-
extremely highly tracked, so I'm still confused on how they're pulling that off. But
Yeah. So Arthur could not have been at the murder scene at the time of Charlie's death because the uncovered video he uploaded to his blog was timestamped just 15 minutes before Charlie's time of death. So the 922 post of the blog, that's what that's talking about.
Okay.
He would not have had time to drive out to the Grove, strangle Charlie, and drive back in time to finish cleaning with Aura. Additionally, Charlie was seen leaving with someone, and there's still no accounting for them. These facts are confirmed by the blog screenshot and Antonio's statement.
all right, I'm still going to say I'm frustrated about the whole Aura thing because both Aura and his statement clearly state they never saw each other again, and they were not alibying for each other.
Correct.
And so him going back to Aura is irrelevant because he never did,
Right.
and he does not, and we know that for fact. So that's just kind of weird to throw that in there.
Right.
That makes no sense to me, but that's me nitpicking. So that's kind of
Let me
suspicious.
grab a
Because I really thought
screenshot of
Arthur was
that.
one of the top like 3 or 4. Does it mention anything about the money? Because I really find it interesting that the only person to mention the money that they raised for the class reunion is Arthur. He mentioned how
Yeah,
he deals with the
that's
money.
that's
That
the
was
first
weird to
time that
me.
I've heard anything of it.
Yeah, that caught my ear a little
Um,
bit.
So,
Because I
but
don't see
yeah,
anything about a financial like
I mean, we kind of
fundraiser.
ran into this with Mallory Rock too, where there was like
A lot of teasers and
the
stuff and
guilty
extra fluff
party,
stuff.
but
Yeah.
then there were other people that absolutely had their
Mhm.
hands dirty.
Yeah.
And so the I don't know what if Arthur had to do with anything, but
Mhm.
it sounds like he didn't know about the drugs. He didn't know about the script being continuously being filled still, like they said in there. So I don't. I mean, there could have been other stuff, and he does still seem like he's a huge narcissist. He's still sus and shady and whatever for other reasons. But as far as the specific reason of, looking at him as a
Translation.
suspect,
Still a horrible person.
yeah, still a horrible person, I feel like. But as far as being a suspect of murder for Charles, I agree that, absolutely ruled out.
So I was able to look up the difference between the Glencairn thing and a snifter. If you're a whiskey aficionado, like there are 2 very specific style glasses that are meant to drink higher end whiskeys.
Okay.
So he's basically again trying to be pompous and circumstance and kind of show off his knowledge and call out other people for their lack of social grace and awareness, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, scumbag, not a killer scumbag.
Yes.
Uh
Still very full of himself.
Yeah, right. Magic also seems like it's bigger than one person. It may have been one person that killed him, but like there were multiple people who planned it or were involved in some way. So we'll find out. That eliminates 3. That's our 3rd suspect that's been eliminated. So we're down to 1,
lot of
2,
women.
3, 4, 5, 6 people left.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Robin, Gavin, Nicholas, Nita, Susan, and Antonio. So episode 4 will eliminate more than likely 1 more person. We pay attention to Discord, to Twitter. I will, as soon as we are able to come up with a date for the live for our next episode, we will get that posted and let you know.
Llama and me are on an agreement there.
Yeah, and I agree, Llama. There are a few little holes.
This one's a bit of
here.
a stretch to eliminate. The last 2 were pretty easy to do the math
yeah.
on. This one's stretching it a little bit.
I mean, just because in literally the one that's causing that hole is that there's no proof
of where the post happened at.
Of where the post was uploaded at.
Yep.
But
I get what they're wanting us to infer.
Yeah.
And what case in the real world is like clear cut. Like everything's
Correct.
always got
But again, I really feel that even though we don't know for true fact that he uploaded that at the school, I mean, we just had that discussion.
But based on his personality.
Based on his personality, he's very candid. And like it said in his witness statement, it was very candid.
Which
it's absolutely, and then I think somebody else mentioned, right? Like, oh yeah, Llama, you also said, right? Like you don't feel Arthur was competent enough to kill and not leave some evidence.
That is one thing. There's no fingerprints or anything left on the body, which does lean back to a medical person of some nature, whether it's a veterinarian,
possibly.
a neuroscientist, or a plastic surgeon.
You're right. So that's the thing, right? So I'm leaning still
with
more
the carotid
towards
thing and not the strangulation part. I'm leaning a lot more towards one of the medical people.
Nicholas right now, so far. Now, granted, again, we don't have a lot of information about Robin, Gavin, Nita, Susan.
We do know that Robin is a very psychopathic, clingy ex-girlfriend.
Correct, yes. I mean, but as far as like
tell me at 18
additional information we don't really have right now. There are a couple like motives that we have from different people of that, but means we haven't really been able to come up with. But this established I think this episode established a absolute drastic
curve.
Drastic motive for Nick. So before we didn't really have a motive for Nick.
Well, before we didn't know much about him. He had a sister named Yaya.
Right.
He's got parents
So-
that own a diner, and he was kind of the weird metalhead kid in high school.
Mm-hmm. So now we've got an absolute motive for Nick. He divulged some information he shouldn't have that could put his life on the line or in jeopardy, or, and that's a very strong motive of why you want somebody dead if they have information they shouldn't have.
This is funny now that we know what we know about Nick now.
What's that?
Glad we were chem partners this year, Charlie. Didn't know you were such a geek until now. I think Dweeb and Dweebier is our title for life.
Ah, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, so that to me is funnier because that is kind of saying he already was a scientific kind of kid back then, but also
Right.
that he's admitting that Charlie is extremely intelligent and has a lot of knowledge with stuff like drugs.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
absolutely. So, chat, there's the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do so. If you're watching this on YouTube, that will be in the link, or there'll be a link to the Discord down below in the description. And then those of you that are watching live, there is the YouTube link. All right, go over there, drop us a subscribe if you'd like. If you're watching this online again, like, subscribe. We'll be putting up the rest of the episodes as well. And then at the end of this video, you'll see some videos pop up. It'll be, whatever video's up next, and then it'll have the somewhere on this side, I think. That way. We'll have the link to the Hunt a Killer actual playlist. So if you want to catch up on episode 1, on episode 2, or if you want to watch the Mallory Rock series or our Hunter's Lodge series, that's all right there in that playlist as well. But we're definitely going to come up with that date of when we're going to next have that next episode.
I was going to say, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or gone through the yearbook as much as I have and some of the other documents. I'm kind of curious if anyone else has caught on some dates are kind of weird on some of the police reports. Specifically, Charlie's birthday is weird on 2 different things. It's not the same. I was curious if anyone else saw that or if they have any ideas on why. I can't quite figure out why they would have the birth date mistyped into
Right.
places. It's not the same
What
birthday.
were those 2 documents again?
The first one is the police report from the night of, where Aura's giving her statement, and
Right.
it was the one that deputy that isn't very competent.
Okay.
It's
So they
it's
had
down
his date
here,
of birth down
at
there. Okay, and
322
then where was the
80.
other location?
But then when you get to his, I think it's his autopsy or something, it's a totally different date. His date of birth is totally different, which is just odd.
So maybe that's going with the officer's competency. What?
I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
So he could have typed the date wrong, is what you're saying.
Right, because they were talking about that officer wasn't very good. That's why we're on the case.
Yeah.
So because the
Yeah.
autopsy report has a different date of birth than the
Actually,
the
that one's got
initial report.
3/22/1980 as well. So what
Oh.
did I read that has 4 on it? One of the documents has April on it, and the others all have March. And I don't understand why Hunt a Killer would have made that mistake. I feel like there's an
Right.
intentional
Well, I'll
thing
tell you what.
somewhere.
So once
So
you
I
find
was
it,
curious, what other people had found, and if they had found anything else that just
yeah.
wasn't quite
So if
matching
you
up.
find that,
Okay.
and once she
We'll
locates
post it, yeah.
those two documents and what they are, Mr. Strange will go into Discord and post in there of what those 2 documents were, so that if
Yeah.
anybody else has any ideas on why that may be the case, then great. But otherwise, chat, I think that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Stay tuned. Like I said, follow on all of our social medias. There you go. There's the link there in chat. That link will also be below down in the description. So you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and then we're of course here on Twitch as well. And then if you are watching this on YouTube, feel free, come hang out on Twitch. I'm usually live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So come check us out. We play a few different games, and then just picked up Borderlands 3, and then also usually some marbles on stream, which is a game that allows you all to play the game as well. So it's quite a lot of fun. So we'll see you all next time. Did you have any last closing remarks?
No.
Okay.
Just really hoping I didn't just totally write down the date wrong. And I'm just embarrassed to you spouting off absolutely nothing except conspiracy theory.
You know what? It happens.
It does.
Look, I mean, all right.
I don't
We already
know.
know that we're going to rule out everybody on this list anyway because it was an alien.
Yeah.
All right. Or maybe one of these is the alien.
In disguise. Yes.
Maybe that's why Susan's on the hormone therapy.
That's it. The alien fire stuff.
Right.
I follow.
Right. All right.
That's gonna drive me.
Right. The suspense and conjecture. Hey, I appreciate it, Llama. So,
You
chat.
gotta wrap
I'll be back on tomorrow night, Friday night, at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then. Oh, it's his twin brother that was killed. Oh, there you go. It was Charlie that killed him. The pup says goodbye to everybody as well down here. And we will see you next time. So stay safe, stay strange, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.